From the corner of Munson and Civic Center Boulevard, welcome Fanatics to Menor Ice Arena for game number 22 of your Menor Icebreakers season. Tonight, the Icebreakers hosting the Port Huron Prowlers. I'm Angelo Villada, and thank you for listening right here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games. And this is the first of two from the team from St. Clair County, the Thumb area of eastern central Michigan, the Blue Water area, and the Prowlers come in on a 6-game winning streak. Last night, we played the Danbury Hat-Tricks and ended their 11-game win streak in what was a true classic here for Menor Ice Arena. Icebreakers hold on a frenetic offensive surge at the end, a flurry of shots from the Hat-Tricks. Still no confirmation on the Rabbit name, but Menor held on, cleared it the length of the ice 4 times, and gets the victory, getting off the 2-game slide, winning 6-5. Jared, we're going to take a look up at what we have, as much of what we have of the Port Huron starting lineup.
At left wing, it's going to be Matt Robertson, the all-time leading scorer for the Prowlers. On right wing is David Nippard, and centering that line is Matt Graham. On left defense for the Prowlers is Brian Parsons, and we have Dalton Young listed right now as the right defenseman, but we've been told that he hasn't made the trip, so we'll wait for official confirmation, but we believe it's going to be Alexander Strack as the starting defenseman for the Prowlers. And in goal tonight, following the call-up of Corey Simons, is Chris Paulin.
Yeah, we're going to talk to you about a few call-ups here momentarily, but let's get that starting line brought to you by Ganley Village Automotive for the Menor Icebreakers. In between the pipes, picked up his 10th win last night, number 56, Austin Rodebush. Left defenseman and captain alternate, number 19 from Toledo, Ohio, Brody Duncan. Right defenseman, number 18, Henry Berger. The captain, the center, number 9, anchoring that line, Nate Farrington. Left wing, number 22, FPHL leading goal and point scorer, Declan Conway. And number 4, Mark Esri, rounds out the starting line, brought to you by Ganley Village Automotive. That's your lineups, and we'll get you the confirmation on the final Prowler on that right defenseman once we can get it. But John Butita, former Kent State Golden Flash, called up to the Quad City Storm of the SPHL. Last year, Butita had a 6-6-12 scoring line over 8 games, and this year, number 14 was 18-20-38 scoring line over 20 games, nearly averaging 2 points per game. Butita has the second longest point streak in Icebreakers history with 16 this year, and joins Quad City, who is currently 6-10-4 in the SPHL. Butita is the third Icebreaker to be called up to the SPHL, joining Drake Hunter and Joe Fatoma from last year. Now, Corey Simons just got called up from the Port Huron Prowlers as well. He joins the Pensacola Ice Flyers. With the Prowlers this year, Simons was 6-0 and only gave up 1.81 goals per game and had a .948 save percentage. Simons is in his 4th FPHL season, 3rd with the Prowlers. He's been called up to the SPHL twice before, playing 1 game for the Birmingham Bulls in 2018 and 2 games with the Quad City Storm, ironically, in 2019. And Drake Hunter, just to look how he's done in the SPHL, he had a 6-8-14 scoring line over 9 games with the Icebreakers last year before getting called up to the Pure Rivermen, where he still is. Over 30 games last year, accomplished a 3-6-9 scoring line, and has appeared in 3 games so far this year, but yet to get a point yet. So it's kind of interesting, though, Jared, as these two teams face first time in a few weeks, that both the Prowlers and Icebreakers lose a key part, different parts of the ice, but both losing somebody good for them getting called up. But it'll be interesting how that fares out in the matchup.
And it's arguably the top player for both teams. Corey Simons has been really the anchor behind the Prowlers' current 6-game winning streak. And, of course, John Butita has been leading scorer, Rookie of the Month for November, and arguably the best player in the league, best forward at least up to this point.
And he'll also bring that, I think it's the power of the mustache. John Butita had that classic mustache here for the Icebreakers. Nice guy. We interviewed him, and it's it's one of those tough things. You're sad to see him go, but you're proud and happy what he accomplished here for Menor, and you wish him all the best going forward. And same thing to the Port Huron Prowlers, Corey Simons as well. And tonight is Menor Youth Hockey Night and Kids Club Night. Menor Youth Hockey is sponsored in partnership with Moe's Southwest Grill. Welcome to Moe's. Moe's has always been and will be locally owned and operated. And we have a special one for you. As the Menor Youth Hockey, you get in free to the game if you wear your youth hockey jersey and come with a paid adult. And then you also get in free tonight with an adult if you have come for Kids Club Night. You can sign up for Kids Club Night at MenorIcebreakers.com. stay after the game to skate with the team tonight. Free $3 or free skates or $3 you can rent them from the ice arena. So as we get set for tonight, it's a full slate of action in the FPHL. And Jared, this is the only East-West matchup, as everybody else will be playing divisional matchups.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the Icebreakers have mainly played Western Division opponents so far. They really don't have a stretch against a lot of Eastern Division opponents until the stretch of the season. They take on Delaware, Watertown, and Elmira over the final month of the season.
Could be an interesting end to the season. So, yeah, we'll keep you up to date in the Labatt Blue intermissions on what games and what the scores are of the games going around. Two teams in the Eastern Division looking for a win will be Danbury and Elmira. Both lost last night. Menor beating the Hat Tricks last night, and Elmira fell to the Delaware Thunder 6-4. At one point had the same score and shot on goal differential. We've also got Watertown will be in action against the Delaware Thunder. Danville will take on the Columbus River Dragons, and the Battle Creek Rumblebees will battle it out with the first place Carolina Thunderbirds. So 5 games will be in action, a few underway already.
Actually, Danbury scored first in Elmira to take a 1-0 lead over the Enforcers before looks like Dustin Skinner was the one to tie it up midway through the first period. So that game's 1-1 midway through the first.
And that was a big win for Menor last night, picking up 3 points, and Danbury not picking up 3 points, as well as Elmira not picking up 3 points. Now, you can't count Delaware out. They have played some improved hockey as of late, and you hear the fanatics here at Menor Ice Arena cheering as the guys in double blue with the Christmas decal take to the ice. But Delaware has put together their first multi-game wins in a row, so they are turning it around as well. Can't count any of the teams. 4 teams will make the FPHL playoffs of both the Eastern and Western Division. As we get set here for the opening puck drop as the teams take to the ice, what do you expect from this one? As we've seen the Prowlers earlier this year as well.
Yeah, these two teams always seem to have a really good matchup every time they play, especially in this building. Of course, remember last season the Icebreakers had a couple of really exciting games against the Prowlers. Had that, I think it was a 10-7 win at one point over Port Huron in a really crazy game, and you never really know what to expect when these two teams play.
So what we're gonna do now is we get set for the team introductions. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll be back for the national anthem and the opening puck drop from Menor Ice Arena. Keep it here on YouTube.com. back here at Menor Ice Arena, and a great job by Madison Sakita on the national anthem as we await the opening puck drop. We thank you for joining us here on this Friday evening. And pretty cool to see the Menor youth hockey players out there skating and standing up next to the Icebreakers players during the national anthem. A cool moment for all the junior Icebreakers as well as Junior Icebreakers Kids Club night. And the kids will help out here with the opening puck drop, the ceremonial version of that. If your kids are interested in joining the Junior Icebreakers, ages 5 to 16 are eligible to join the brand new club. Members will receive a membership T-shirt and card, having special access to events with players, and will receive free admission with the paying adult during select games throughout the 2019-2020 season. Cost is just $15 per season per child. For more information next time you're stop by the merchandise table or visit MenorIcebreakers.com. So we get set. We put 20 minutes up on the clock. The Port Huron Prowlers are in their road white jerseys with black and red stripes, black and red numbers. They will move left to right. The Menor Icebreakers in the double blue, dark blue and light blue with white numbers and Christmas decal will move right to left. The all-time series has Port Huron winning 8-7 and winning 7-6 last year. The teams have split in their two meetings, so this game, one way or the other, will put one team in the season lead series. Opening puck drop, and we're underway for Menor Ice Arena. Strack has it, moves it into the neutral zone, feeds that out to his outlet man. That's Matt Robertson, the all-time Prowlers point scorer. Picked up his 300th point here the last time the Prowlers were in town. And now Robertson to the right circle, winds up. That one deflects off of the jersey of Henry Berger. Now, here come the Icebreakers, flipping it forward towards the net is Declan Conway, dumps it behind the net. And in goal tonight is Chris Paulin, who is 6-5 on the year for the Prowlers. Paulin, the lefty from Lockport, New York. Icebreakers now trying to play defense against Nippert here. Clear out there for the right circle by Berger. And Icebreakers and Prowlers both on their first change as Conway nearly had an opportunity there in the slot.
Declan was just a little bit too quick getting over that blue line. The puck was a little bit too slow for him coming in off sides there.
First whistle against the Icebreakers tonight, 19-16 remaining in the first period. And we will have a face-off now. And the blue line nearest, Rodebush, who picked up his 10th win last night. Off the draw now. Joe Keenan, who had a successful night. You could see that interview along with one with Nate Farrington and Coach Ian Duncan on the Icebreakers Facebook page. Made the play there, but now Zulkanich and Austin Federley leading the offensive surge, but quickly the other way, it's the Icebreakers on the counter. Crossing the neutral zone is Tim Perks. Tim Perks boarded up here on the near boards. Joe Pace helps out, tries to flip it forward. Perks still has control of it, loses it now to the speedster, Dalton Jay, who slides between his own circles, eventually loses it now to Dmitry Danieluk, the Belarus native. Blake Nato, one of the newer Icebreakers in his third weekend with the team. Back and forth passing here, but good forecheck by Port Huron. Joe Pace winds up. Little wrist shot there from the right blue line. It's deflected back out. Rodebush had plenty of those deflection shots last night and did a good job at it despite giving up the 5 goals. Now Icebreakers race it the other way. Jackson Tucker flips it over the head of Paulin off of his glove.
That's a good look there by Tucker. A little burst of speed you don't see too often from him.
Alfonso Diaz losing his helmet there. Trying to get it to Isaiah Crawford here, the Detroit, Michigan native. Now goes behind the net. 17:58 left here in the first period of play. Brody Duncan skates across center ice. Over the blue line. Good feed right side. And he got that one to Stuart Dant, the veteran. Now wind up going for the deflection off of the long wrist shot from Stepan Jurovic, number 17. Port Huron able to clear it out of the defensive zone, but Brody Duncan will flip it behind the net now. Good crowd on hand here. Fanatics here, youth hockey night, junior Icebreakers night. And the Prowlers on the change. 2-1 the shot on goal advantage for the Prowlers. Declan Conway skates over the blue line. Loses control of the puck. And now 1-on-0, 2-on-0. It's Matt Graham. Back and forth pass. Wind up goes wide left. I think there was one too many passes there. Matt Graham and trying to get a read on that, Matt Robertson. They passed it about 4 times in the slot. I think if they eliminated one of those passes, they would have a goal right now.
Yeah, and those are the 2 guys you want the most on that 2-0 breakaway if you're a Prowlers fan. They just couldn't get it done that time.
Can you imagine what Rodebush is thinking, seeing all those points coming at him? These 2 passing it back and forth, but the Icebreakers avoid giving up a goal. 16:38 remaining now. Nippert crosses that pass center, but Declan Conway able to intercept it as a big board up here by Blake Nada. Nada's added some physicality in his first couple of weeks. Prowlers now skate between the circles. That's Brian Parsons, the Shrewsbury, Massachusetts native, who will get the icing call against him at 16:18 remaining in a scoreless first period.
One guy to look out for on the Prowlers roster is Zach Sokanich. He seems to have the Icebreakers number every time he plays them. He has 26 points, 10 goals and 16 assists in 11 career games against the Icebreakers. Already has 3 goals in 2 games against Mentor this season.
Fanatics giving it up for birthday boy number 5, Alex Morrow. It is his birthday. The Westerville, Ohio native played for Otterbein University here in Ohio, and now for the Icebreakers. Happy birthday to Alex Morrow. Lined up by Keenan. Was going for another one of those flexions. He had that team up with Zach McKenna last night. Nippert coming the other way, gets it to Robertson, dumps it back to Nippert. Nice little behind-the-back pass, wind-up shot, and the save made by Rodebush.
One thing the Icebreakers defensemen have to be careful of tonight, the Prowlers hanging out near the blue line trying to get those breakaways. They got burned a couple of times last time the Prowlers were in town, November 22nd and 23rd. These 2 teams split 2-game series, and you saw it early on there with Robertson and Grime on the breakaway.
And that was a nice little dump-off pass there. Gave him the look, kind of blocks the view of Rodebush. Icebreakers cleared out of the defensive zone. That will go down the length of the ice behind the net. In a race to get it, though. Good effort by Blake Nada. Alex Morrow there as well, tangled up with multiple Prowlers, a plethora of Prowlers, if you'd like the alliteration. And now good pass. Oh, they were trying to feed Dalton J. Sandwiched that puck through. They couldn't quite get it to him. He was going to use his speed to get a fast break, but unable to do so. Now Federley crosses into the neutral zone. Tangled up there, and 2 teams battling for control of the puck. Morrow chips it back and around to Richie Penkowski, I believe, is back out on the ice. We haven't seen him in a little bit of time, unless that was Stuart Dan.
That is Penkowski in the lineup tonight.
15:06, so that is Richie Penkowski. He's been off the last couple of weekends. Good to see him back on the ice, the Allen Park, Michigan native. Richie Penkowski, the righty, 5'11", 185. 14:53 remaining here in the first period of play for Mentor Ice Arena. Thanks again for joining us here on this Friday night. Now skating in their own defensive zone. Tries to get that pass to Portillo. It goes a little errant. And Penkowski will dump it towards Paulin. Paulin again getting the start with the call up to Corey Simons, who was 6-0. Big part of how the Prowlers come in on this 6-game win streak. And now the low glove save made there by Paulin. If you're looking for the ultimate Icebreakers experience, purchase tickets for our Founders Room and enjoy restaurant quality food, as well as a chance to meet head coach Ian Duncan and the Icebreakers players at each and every home game. Tickets start at just $30 and are available at MentorIcebreakers.com or by calling 440-290-8502. And now we will have a face-off here for the left defense circle. A top draw guy, Nate Farrington, will take it.
Quick apology there for our camera. Had some issues with our wiring. Have to take a look at it at the intermission. We should be good for now.
Farrington will switch out with Declan Conway. Now from the blue line, Brody Duncan. Tremendous blue liner. Oh, tries to tuck it in there as Conway off the deflection, but Paulin was on his game.
And both goalies are locked in here over the first 5 minutes, stopping all 3 shots they've each seen.
A little different than last night, Jared, where in under 5 minutes, the Icebreakers took a 3-0 lead in what was pretty fantastic game for either fan standpoint here at Mentor Ice Arena. The only time we'll see the hat tricks in Northeast Ohio, barring a playoff series. Now Matt Robertson crosses the blue line the other way. Looking to feed it to Dalton Graham. That pass goes off an Icebreakers crate. Now Marcy Ezri's picking up speed, crosses the blue line, dumps it back off. Conway winds up, deflects off, and Paulin will make the low save. Good job there by Chris Paulin on the 4th shot on goal for the Icebreakers. Icebreakers would like to thank Chris Lewis, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game and throughout the season. And again, welcome all the men or youth hockey wearing all their jerseys and Kids Club Junior Icebreakers tonight. Full house here at Menor Ice Arena. Prowlers being forechecked by the Icebreakers, but they'll send that one in a U over the blue line into the defensive zone of the Icebreakers. Federley speeding after it. Joe Keenan cuts him off. Good effort by Federley to keep it down here. He challenges him enough now to where Port Huron can reset an offensive play. They get it to Stoya, but it goes behind his stick. 13:30 remaining here in the first period. Skating behind his net now, Tim Perks. Perks challenged by Federley. Federley all over him. Perks trying to push his way through. Prowlers will cycle it back to Stoya, and he'll slap that one hard off the backboards. Joe Keenan takes a hit, but releases it, gets it up to Crawford. Crawford sprinting down the far boards. Tries to get it to Nada. Pass goes a little wide left. Daniel down there as well, but now Austin Federley. He's got a man down there. That's Dalton J. He uses his speed, crosses the blue line, winds up and goes wide left. Dalton J played that perfect, though.
Yeah, again, that's what their offense does. They get those breakaways. They kind of cheat up towards the blue line, and it pays off for them a lot. Already twice now, breakaways on the Icebreakers defense.
He crept up there as far as he could before going off sides and waited for that leading pass and took it. Unable to score there, but now a good effort at the other end by Jackson Tucker to forecheck. 12:30 remaining here in the first period. Prowlers come away with the puck. Good feed. Now Portillo, similar thing. Portillo winds up off the right skate there of Austin Rodebush. That's two fast breaks where you see the same thing, hanging out there on the right end of the blue line. Dump behind the net now. Prowlers looking to get some offensive momentum. They were off last night. They were able to watch the Danbury game and see what Menor's tendencies were, although they have played twice earlier this year and familiar with their 13 matchups last year. A lot of these guys back, including Portillo, who feeds that one up to Robertson. Farrington will flip that one over to the bench, and that will draw the whistle. Another thing you can check out is the Booster Club. The Icebreakers have officially launched their official Booster Club. Next time you're here, visit the merchandise table or visit menoricebreakers.com for more information. We'll have a face-off now, center ice. Brody Duncan being challenged by Nippard there. Dalton Graham will send that one down behind the net. Rodebush will come out. Leaves that one for one of his backliners. Feed it up to Conway. Conway turns it. He's pressured there, though, by Graham. They'll find his outlet man right side. That's Henry Berger. Berger will wind up from beyond the blue line, and wow, a laser line drive to the left glove of Chris Paulin. The lefty makes the big save there.
Yeah, luckily for the Prowlers, even with the call for Corey Simons, they have a great backup in place, and Chris Paulin, who really has been phenomenal this year, especially not getting the everyday playing time that Simons was getting. Got a 3.47 goals against average, going with a .916 save percentage. That save percentage is slightly better than Rodebush.
Don't forget Spuddy's Tavern, the preferred restaurant of Menor Icebreakers. Here in located Menor on the Lake, you'll get 10% off your bill when you bring in a home ticket stub after a game. So if you're here tonight or if you're going to be here tomorrow night, keep that in mind. You get 10% off at Spuddy's after the game if you hang on to your ticket stub. Hanging on to the puck right now is Robertson. He'll feed that one left side blue on to Stoya. Stoya sends a hard one, careening off the backboards. Icebreakers turn it around. Flip out the counter, but good cutoff there made by Stoya, and he'll send that one into the Icebreakers bench at 11:04 with the two teams knotted up at 4 shots on goal apiece.
So far in the early goings of this one, looks like it's going to be another defensive battle between these two teams.
And last year, these two teams had very many offensive affairs. I think we'll never forget the 11-7 game in mid-February. And the goalkeeper that got his one win in a short stint with the Icebreakers, Rick Odria.
Never forget.
He got that win. I mean, he gave up less than the Prowlers did, 11-7. That was an offensive juggernaut. As a spill down there, I think, is that the birthday boy that takes a spill to the ice, but it will send a Prowler to the box. And for the first time tonight, the Icebreakers will be on the Lake Health power play. Icebreakers would like to thank Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game, as well as training facilities for players to use all season long. At the Live Healthy Fitness Center, right here in Menor, Ohio, you'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff to help you meet and reach and maybe even surpass your fitness goals.
Going back to that penalty, it looked like Joe Pace was pleading his case, but pretty easy call for the official. He got in Alex Morrow's way and sent him into the boards for the interference call.
Brody Duncan now for the blue line. He'll send that to Esri at the bottom of the circle here. Up to Farrington, who had a nice game last night. Back to Duncan, left side of the blue line. Duncan feeds it back up to Farrington. Back to Duncan, winds up. That one flips off the safety net. 1:36 remaining in the Lake House power play. 10:24 remaining in the first period of play.
Yeah, Port Huron's penalty kill has been third best in the league, right behind the Icebreakers at 84%. Their power play has been even better, top in the league at 28.6%. Meanwhile, the Icebreakers have had their problems on the power play recently. They did have that one last night, early in the game, Alex Morrow.
And on the other end of the ice, the Icebreakers were 7 for 7 on the penalty kill. Forechecking now is the speedster Dalton J., the righty from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Feed up to Declan Conway quickly at the other end of the ice. Conway being stuck on like glue by Brian Parsons. Conway trying to get rid of the puck to a teammate. Finally finds Duncan on the right side of the blue line. Wind up and the bounce into the glove. Good hand-eye coordination there by Chris Paulin. And while they lost Corey Simons, if you're a Prowlers fan, you have to be impressed with Paulin's efforts thus far.
Yeah, he does a great job there, preventing the rebound chance for the Icebreakers. You saw that last night against Danbury. When McGuckin was struggling early on. He was giving up a ton of rebounds, and the Icebreakers were capitalizing, but not so much here tonight with Paulin.
Officials sorted something out now at the penalty box. When we return from the first intermission, Labatt Blue first intermission, we'll bring you the Vitamix saves of the period and check out the FPHL scoreboard as well as give you the shots on goal. I want to tell you about Wingate by Wyndham Lamall for the preferred hotel for men or Icebreakers. Visitors coming in from out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning the Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. So it's 0-0 with 9:40 remaining in the first period of play for Menor Ice Arena and 49 seconds left in the Lake Health power play. Now Tim Perks feeds it up to birthday boy Morrow. Morrow will skate behind the net. Federally applying a lot of pressure there, as is Matt Robertson. Brian Parsons now comes up with it and will feed that one forward. The length of the ice. Right in front of Rodebush, took a bounce right in front of the net. Icebreakers clear it out, but nobody home on the errant pass there, and that'll draw the whistle against the Icebreakers.
Yeah, so far a little more of what we've been seeing recently from the Icebreakers power play unit, just can't really get anything established in the offensive zone. And you hate to take an icing call on your own power play like they just did there.
Want to thank our all-ice officials tonight: Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Alec Arslanian, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, Bobby Van Sickle, and Chris Uran. Taylor Ruyer on game day operations, and Frank Schmidt, operations intern. Now behind the net, Icebreakers avoiding the forecheck. Only 21 seconds left in this Lake Health power play. I wouldn't say it's been squandered, but not too much has happened yet. Trying to make something now. Tim Perks skates all the way around into U, feeds it over. Now Stuart Dant centers it to Alfonso Diaz. And the windup there goes wide left from Tim Perks. Now back to Perks. Perks going to have an opportunity. The final second left and goes just wide left. So good job there by the Prowlers on the penalty kill as they're back to full strength. 7-4 shot on goal advantage for Menor, but a 0-0 game. Dalton Graham now able to chip that one forward to Portillo. Portillo across the blue line. Feeds that one back to Graham. Now to Stoya. Stoya crosses the blue line, winds up off of Rodebush's pads, back into play. Esri, nice little back pass there. And now the quick feed from Diaz to Morrow. Morrow winds up, goes wide left, off the backboards. Morrow recovers his own puck, recycles it towards Esri. Esri winds up from the circle, and it goes wide left. Spill on the ice to Declan Conway. Thanks again for joining us here on YouTube.com on this Friday night. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. If you haven't seen, you can check out the Icebreakers Christmas greeting on the Facebook page as well. Still the Christmas season, and now the Prowlers trying to get it out of their defensive zone. Led by Giuliano, who had a pretty good game in the first time Friday night last time at Menor Ice Arena. Now the windup there, and that was from the stick of Hatham Owade, the Houston, Texas native, and it bounces back off Rodebush. 7:49 remaining on this official timeout. I want to tell you a few of our great corporate sponsors: Marco's Pizza, Kemp LLC, Conway Land Title, Toe Drag Apparel, CSP Insurance, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, Market Street Family Restaurant, Global Real Estate Advisors, Spuddy's Tavern, Vitamix, Homeline and Eyeline Real Estate Company, Lake Erie Marine Sales, Mosaic Properties LLC, Stadium Grill, Preston Products LLC, Bethlehem Christmas Lights Park, still a great place to check out now. Cana Winery, Hamco Tool and Development, McGarry & Sons, Nova Southeastern University, Auburn Career Center, Menor Ice Arena, Fitness First, Ganley Village Automotive, JD Cleaners, and Burger IM. So Jared with the score 0-0, and the Icebreakers having the 8-6 shot on goal advantage. If you're Coach Ian Duncan's squad, what would you say is the biggest key now to countering the Port Huron quickness when they get into the defensive zone?
You just have to be aware of it defensively. You cannot let those guys spring free because they can sneak behind you so quickly. It's like you don't even see it coming, but at this point you have to know what they're going to try to do on offense to try to get free on those breakaways.
We saw both the Icebreakers and Prowlers score in bunches last night, but I feel like Prowlers are a team built to score in bunches. Face off here, right defensive circle, it will be Zachary Zulkanich, the Alaskan native, going up against Nate Farrington, the East Freetown, Massachusetts native and captain of the Icebreakers. Federally, good job there, bounces off stick. Now, Icebreakers are able to get it to Declan Conway, who does a little fancy puck work before feeding to Farrington. Nice move there, but Strack slowed him down, trying to get back to Farrington. Farrington light goes up, but I don't believe the goal went in as Chris Paulin lays supine down and looked like it was blocked by his skate.
Yeah, Paulin even fooled the goal judge there, just barely kept that one out of the net to keep this game scoreless.
So they're double checking it now, but I believe that will not be a goal. Now, Declan Conway trying to work through the traffic here in the defensive zone. Bounces back out towards the blue line. Brody sends it. Aaron Pasto and Alexander Strack will get it. Strack trying to send it forward to Dalton J. Dalton J behind the net. That puck goes almost out of play. Federley's down there as well, as is Zulkanich. Icebreaker gloved down by Conway, and that one's going to sting. He took that on the fingers. Now Zulkanich from the right circle. Skate towards the net. Trying to find someone that does it himself almost and is able to do a turn and shoot off the top of a stick. Now he'll go over and board up an Icebreaker. Kind of got him in a strong grapple. That's Farrington down there. Windup goes back off the glass from Dalton J. Now Strack will come forward for it. He's got Brian Parsons left side. Up to Federley, back to Zulkanich. 9-7 shot on goal advantage. 6:34 remaining in the first period. Icebreakers now on the counter. Duncan will take it himself. Work center, and it'll be Stepan Jurovic going over to get it neutral zone. Almost goes out of play, able to get it up to Jackson Tucker. Tucker looking for some help, cuts back. He's got two Prowlers on him. That's Matt Robertson and Brian Parsons. Now the feed over to Nippert. Nippert will cross the blue line. And he's got Matt Graham with him. Now Brody Duncan sends that pass across the blue line. Joe Pace back out there. Stuart Dant, battle of 13s, going for control of the puck. Prowlers getting forecheck now. Stoya trying to find a man. He was looking for Robertson at the outlet, and a whistle at 5:44 remaining. 9-8 shot on goal advantage in favor of the Icebreakers.
Looks like the Icebreakers are going to take a penalty here. Let's see what the call was. It's going to be on Isaiah Crawford.
This will be the first penalty kill for the Icebreakers tonight, as number 8, Isaiah Crawford, goes to the box. Icebreakers did a great job on it last night, 7 for 7, but it's a new night tonight, and Port Huron seems like they're hungry for a goal. It will be Matt Graham taking the draw for the Prowlers. He'll send that back to Matt Robertson. Over to Stoya, to Federley, trying to center it. Hooking is the call against Crawford. Stoya centers it, winds up looking for a deflection to Matt Graham. But the Prowlers unable to get it in there, still in possession of the puck. In the first 20 or so seconds of the penalty kill. Now, Nippert looking to set up someone at the line. He'll find Stoya. Stoya left side, skates free. Wind up from Robertson. Deflection, still alive, just goes wide right as Matt Graham tried to get the turn and shoot off the deflection. 5:04 remaining. Hard one there from Stoya. Goes off of the skate of Tim Perks. Prowlers from the circle. Right side now to Robertson. Robertson looking for a man center. Gets it to Stoya. Left circle. Nippard. And that one goes hard off the back glass and will draw the whistle. Good defensive effort there by the back line of the Icebreakers.
Yeah, this is kind of how they kill out their penalties. Obviously, Prowlers have a great power play unit, top in the league for a reason. This is what we saw last night against Danbury. They give up a lot of shots, but they put their goalie in a good position to make saves, and it normally pays off for them, converting on 87% of their penalty kills.
Almost playing a bit of a zone, if you will, and less of a man-to-man, and just kind of allow the passes to work in that triangle fashion, but be in position to help block out with Rodebush and make sure it doesn't get in the back of net. And, hey, it worked last night. Not sure how much time is exactly left in this penalty kill. Little clock issue, but about half of it is probably expired, would you say, Jared?
I believe it started at 5:41, so just about halfway through.
Now Giuliano, right circle. Feeds it over left side to Federley. Federley centers it to Pace. Pace winds up. Good one. There goes wide right, though. Giuliano trying to get it Federley. That pass goes a bit behind him. Federley will recover. Wind up from Pace. Right side blue line. And it sneaks past Rodebush. Right past his eyes on the right side. And Joe Pace Jr. helps his team out. And they get a power play goal. 7 for 7 last night on the penalty kill. The Prowlers study their tapes. They come back tonight, and they make it 1-0 here in the final 5 minutes of the first period.
Not sure if Rodebush ever saw that puck, but I'm sure he wants that one back. It was just kind of a knuckle puck, little slow slap shot that came in, and I think Rodebush thinks he should have had that one.
So the Prowlers take the lead, 4:29 remaining. On the right side, slap shot from Joe Pace Jr. that he just put in the right spot. And last night it was the Icebreakers with the lead, and was 3 goals early. Here at the other end of the ice, Declan Conway winds up at a breadbasket save made by Paulin. And it's been Port Huron so far. Venner with the short lead in the shot on goal category, 10-9, 4:17 remaining. But it's 1-0 Prowlers. Off the draw now. Esri wasn't able to maintain the pass. Portillo crosses the blue line. He's got a little space from the circle. Glove save, deflects back out left side by Austin Rodebush. Now on the counter, Declan Conway crosses the blue line. Declan Conway picked up his 21st and 22nd goal last night. Quick on the counter the other way now. Portillo gets it center to Giuliano. Almost goes in there. I can't believe that Alexander Gregorich didn't tap it in. He was in perfect position hanging out there on the left side of the net.
Yeah, and like you said, this Port Huron team likes to score goals in bunches, and Icebreakers could be in trouble here as Mark Esri takes a high sticking penalty.
So Esri goes to the back as the Duke album cut misunderstanding plays by Genesis, and Menor back-to-back penalty kills. Not where you want to be when you just gave up a goal on the penalty kill. Face-off now, 3:52 remaining, minute 59 in the penalty kill. Robertson to Stoya. Back to Robertson. Right side, works it to the corner now to Jay. Now back to Robertson at the bottom half of that right circle. Stoya, give and go pass to Robertson, deflects back out. Now Robertson hasn't, Rodebush hasn't made as many glove saves tonight. He's had a lot of deflections, which has been good keeping him out of the net for the most part, but Port Huron is getting second and third chance opportunities.
Yeah, those rebounds have been a little bit of an issue tonight so far for Rodebush as the Icebreakers killed out the first quarter of this penalty.
Minute 33 remaining in that. Want to thank the rest of our All-Fice officials, Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew, Jared Tennant, communications manager and color commentary, and Casey Healy on the video stream. Now coming the other way. Prowlers in their own defensive zone. Minute 24 left in their man advantage. 1-0 is the score if you're just joining us. Nippard crosses over the blue line, dumped down behind the net. Rodebush gets pulled out but takes his post back. Now Matt Graham feeds it up. Centers it from Stoya, and there's another rebound, and Austin Federley was very close. He takes a late push from behind by Brody Duncan. Portillo was right there, though. Portillo was hanging out right side of the net and almost got a quick deflection and then takes the push from Brody, but these rebounds could be an issue if with the speed of Port Huron to keep the puck down here in the defensive end. 1 minute now left in the penalty kill. 2:51 remaining in the first period of play. It's been Prowlers much of the last 5 minutes. Nate Farrington flips that one forward, but Stoya cuts it off at center ice. Feeds it up to Robertson. Now it is Nippert. They'll cycle that one back at their own defensive zone and reset. 42 seconds left in the penalty kill. Stoya now crosses the blue line, tries to stick handle his man, Brody Duncan, but gets tripped up. 32 seconds remaining in the 5-on-4 advantage with Mark Esri in the box on the hooking call, and the Icebreakers will dump it the length of the ice. Now it's Federle crossing the blue line. Nobody there, and a whistle there will be drawn against the Prowlers.
They're going to get Brody Duncan here for a trip. And
they got the trip first. Okay, so
he's going to plead his case, but it's by definition at the trip, but he wasn't even looking at to see who he tripped up, but he's got to stick it, tripped him up, and they're going to get that call every time.
So the third straight penalty against the Icebreakers, and they have been deserved penalties. It's just not at a good time when you struggled on the penalty kill and Port Huron scored. You put them back on it now. You almost let that one expire with only 20 seconds left, but minute 58 back on the clock for the next power play. So Esri in the box for 15 seconds, Brody for a minute 54, and 2:05 remaining in a very dominant final 5 minutes of the first period from the Prowlers. That one gets away from Federle. He'll have to skate back into his own defensive zone to get in. That will allow Mark Esri's penalty to all but expire, and now it is done, and Esri will take the edge. We're back to 5-on-4 hockey, so 5-on-3 was a brief period. Dalton J flies behind the net, trying to work it to the slot to Zulkanich. Good defense there by the back line. I think that was Tim Perks there. Yeah, Tim Perks had a nice stance there. Giuliano give and go with Federle. Federle winds up hard deflection off the pad from Rodebush. Giuliano and Federle both go for it. Giuliano will take it. He'll feed that one over to the left circle to Dalton J. Now Federle takes it right side of blue line. Back to Giuliano left side. Giuliano winds up, and Rodebush, it deflects off of him very briefly, but he'll pull that one in as Daniel exchanged a brief push with Zulkanich.
This Prowlers power play unit is relentless, and there's a reason. They are the top unit in the league right now, but the Icebreakers have to be more disciplined on the penalty kill. You saw it last night. 2 times it was a 5-on-4, and they took an additional minor penalty to go down 5-on-3. They've already done it once here in the first period.
And Rodebush was rock solid, especially in that first period, 5-on-3, as Danbury had a flurry of shots on goal. Minute 16 left of the first period, and a minute and 3 of that will be on the penalty kill. It's been 3 straight penalty kills for the Icebreakers, and Port Huron has done a good job. They've picked up 1 goal so far. Second one expired, so they're 1 for 2 on the penalty kill, and the third one is in the process. Dalton J now feeling a little bit of pressure from Joseph Keenan, but they're able to work it the other side. Federle will dump it behind the net. 42 seconds left, and all of a sudden, with those penalty kills, the Prowlers have an 18-11 shot on goal advantage. At one point, it was 10-9 Menor. So if you do the math, that has been pretty much all Prowlers there. And that one deflects again off of Rodebush. 9-1 shot on goal advantage over the last 10 shots on goal. Federle now crosses the blue line. Can't get it to Giuliano. That bounces off an Icebreaker stick, Alex Morrow. Prowlers recover it. 13 seconds left in the penalty kill. 23 seconds left in the first period. Prowlers with the 1-0 lead. Morrow trying to gain control here on his birthday, looking to get it to Esri or maybe feed it back to Stepan Jurovic. Penalty kill expires, so 1 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight so far for the Icebreakers. Robertson winds up, and the all-time Prowlers leader takes a shot, but cut off short side by Rodebush with only 4.3 seconds remaining in the first period of play.
And for as much as Port Huron has controlled this opening period, Icebreakers aren't in a terrible position being down only 1 goal. Have to regroup offensively, though. They have not been able to get much going against Chris Paulin and his Prowlers defense.
Face-off now for Matt Graham and Mark Esri as we get to double zeros, and at the end of 1, Port Huron takes a 1-0 lead. That was the goal scored at 4:29 remaining. Slap shot right side of the blue line from Joe Pace Jr. For Joe Pace, that is a big goal for him on his numbers of the season. His 3rd goal, no assists, so his 3rd point of the season. And the Prowlers have quite a few weapons offensively, but Joe Pace chimes in today. It's enough to give the Prowlers the 1-0 lead as we get set for the break. Menor needs to step it up after a rough ending of the first period.
Yeah, I'm sure Ian Duncan, head coach of the Icebreakers, isn't too pleased with his club's effort in the first period. Penalty kill was not terrible outside of that one. I had a little tough stretch, resulted in the Joe Pace goal, but overall, not a terrible period for the Icebreakers, but need to play better to beat this Port Huron team.
So we're going to step away for the Labatt Blue first intermission. When we return, we'll bring you the full slate of action scoreboard from around the FPHL, give you the Vitamix Blender saves of the period, and check out the shots on goal. So keep it right here on YouTube.com. welcome back to Menor Ice Arena, where the score is the Port Huron Prowlers 1 and your Menor Icebreakers 0. Shots on goal for the period, 20 for the Prowlers. A lot of those on the 3 penalty kills in a row, and 11 for the Icebreakers. The saves of the period, all 11 of the Icebreaker shots have been saved by Paulin, who's had a nice game in goal tonight, as Corey Simons called up to the Pensacola Ice Flyers of the SPHL. 19 saves for a very busy Austin Rodebush. Many deflections, a few glove saves, but he has been tested, and the Prowlers trying to capitalize there with their speed and getting the rebounds on second, third, and fourth chance opportunities. The saves of the period are brought to you by Vitamix. As always, brought to you by Vitamix. Fueling you from practices to game days, our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life as we get set to resume action on the ice for the second period of play. In just a moment, Jared will give us the scores from around the league. I want to remind you that tonight is Menor Youth Hockey Organization Night and Kids Club Night. Menor Youth Hockey Night is sponsored in partnership with Moe's Southwest Grill. Welcome to Moe's. Moe's always has been and always will be locally owned and operated. Why? Because we care about bringing our local communities together and making them stronger. Without you, we wouldn't even be here, and we just happen to roll a darn good burrito. So come on by today. We've got the tortillas ready. Thank you, Moe's, for sponsoring Menor Youth Hockey Night. It's also Junior Icebreakers Kids Club Night. Stay after the game tonight and skate with the team. They got skate rental after the game, post-game skate. Always a fun time for the kids in hand. And Jared's going to take us a look around the FPHL.
Got a full slate of action tonight down in Columbus. The River Dragons are on top of the Dashers 2-1. Delaware is on top of Watertown 1-0 right now, and Danbury and Elmira are knotted up at 3-3. And of course, your favorites, the Yellow and Black Attack. They're only down 2 against Carolina, 3-1 Thunderbirds at the first intermission.
Hey, the Rumble Beasts will find a way. They will find a way. I don't know when the way will be, but they will find it. I have faith in Battle Creek. Tomorrow, got to have faith in the Icebreakers. 2-game series, 3 in a row, split with Danbury, and then now the 2 with Port Huron. They got the win last night. They're trailing right now. We wrap up the series here tomorrow, and it's Star Wars theme night, where we'll be playing music and video clips from Star Wars movies during game breaks. May the Force be with you. And the Icebreakers. Doors open 1 hour before game time. And tomorrow night is the last night for our Christmas jerseys. These jerseys will be auctioned off after game on December 28th. The auction available through the Live Source app on smart devices only. We'll have information on our website, social media, with information on how to get the application. Tickets are still available for tomorrow's game and can be purchased online or at the door. For more information, please go to our website, www.menoricebreakers.com, or call our team office at 440-290-8502. Now, have you had a chance, Jared, to take a look at all of the Christmas jerseys from around the league?
I have not. I've seen ours. I haven't seen every team.
I've seen Columbus. I've seen a few others. I think we have a pretty nice-looking one, and fans, so you can just download the Live Source app if you haven't participated in auction. And those generally, the game time's tomorrow at 6:30. Is that generally right after the game?
Yeah, I believe an hour or so after the game is when the auction will open up.
But we'll post everything up on the Icebreakers Facebook page and Twitter and all of that probably as the game is concluding and give you all that information. Cool thing about these jerseys, Jared and I were looking at it before the game tonight. They all have a different Christmas word on it, like Claus or Scrooge, Blizzard, Blitzen. It's a nice-looking Christmas jersey.
Makes it tough on broadcasters, though, if you don't know the players.
It does make it a little tougher. Or we could just call them what their name is on the back. From Grinch to Blizzard to Tinsel.
All right, I like it to do this period.
You want to do it? Well, tomorrow, are you still going to pull through on your promise to do Darth Vader as color commentator for the first period? Star Wars night. It's official Star Wars night.
That'll be a game time decision.
The game time decision. You'll have to find out here. Game puck drop is at 6:30, and the pregame will start around 6:20. So keep it right here on YouTube.com tomorrow on your Saturday night. And we appreciate you listening with us tonight as we get ready for the second period of play. The Prowlers with a 1-0 lead, a lot less scoring than last night's 3-2 first period where the Icebreakers rattled off 3 goals in the first under 5 minutes. We'll see what anything changes. They're changing sides of the ice, but it's a clean slate for the Icebreakers. 3 straight penalty kills is not the way you would like to end a period. You don't want to start that way, so you think we'll see maybe a little bit more of a disciplined and focused effort from Coach Duncan's squad as they had the 20 minutes to talk things over?
Yeah, last night you were talking about how the Icebreakers have been much more disciplined this year compared to last year. I think you might have jinxed them because went to the penalty kill 7 times last night, did it 3 times in the first period here tonight, and it bit them. They had to pay for it early on with that power play goal, but hopefully they can stay out of the box this period and get something going offensively.
Yeah, I don't think you could put the jinx squarely on my shoulders, Jared.
I'm going to this time.
All right, this time we'll let it slide. Icebreakers will now move left to right on the ice in those double blue jerseys with the Christmas decal, white numbers.
Looks like there's an issue with the ice behind the Prowlers net the officials are attending to.
Too slippery?
Might be the case, possible.
The Prowlers will move right to left this period in their road white jerseys with black and red trim and black and red numbers. 20 is on the clock, 20-11 shot on goal in favor of Port Huron and 1-0. And I think they have sorted out the issue there. Joe Pace Jr., the only goal so far, only his 3rd of the year. I mean, when you look at that Port Huron scoring line, with Matt Robertson 15 goals, Matt Graham with 8, Dalton J 7, Justin Portillo 10. But it was Joe Pace Jr., and that one immediately goes down Rodebush's end, and 19:50 on the clock. Thanks for listening wherever you are in Port Huron, Michigan, Mentor, Ohio, anywhere in between or beyond. Prowlers playing their games up in McMorran Arena. Of course, we're here at Mentor Ice Arena. Mascot Mitz the Cougar will be cheering them on in the capacity of 3,568. Commissioner's Cup champs in their debut year in 16 and runners-up in 18. We've got Slam the Shark here, and the Icebreakers have control the puck through the neutral zone. Looking for a man, finds Farrington, winds up and just misses wide left. That one will bounce back out. Prowlers cut off the deflection, but now Esri and Matt Graham bouncing it off of their sticks. Who was going to maintain possession? This one volleying quickly back and forth in the opening minute of the second period of play. And a unique backhand pass there from Robertson. Rebound. He was in position for it off of the shot there from Matt Graham, but now here come the Icebreakers. Declan Conway scored 2 last night, scored 4 points, skates between the circle, winds up, and he had the perfect approach going for the opposite corner, but just a little wide left.
And that breakaway, or that chance for Conway came right after the Icebreakers got really lucky with Matt Robertson getting an open look at the net, and he just whiffed on the shot.
Matt Robertson with a 15-21-36 scoring line, point leader this year and all-time for the Prowlers. That one flips high into the air. Daniel keeps it alive and a whistle on the ice at 18:32.
Looked like that one barely got out of the zone. Didn't see what the defenseman was trying to keep it in with the glove, but just barely couldn't keep it in.
Once again, Icebreakers want to wish number 5, Alex Morrow, a very happy birthday. The lefty forward from Westerville, Ohio. He's in there right now. That one will go out of play. Again, a big thank you to Madison Sakita on the national anthem tonight. So 18:27 remaining here in the second period. 21-12, the shot on goal advantage in favor of Port Huron. We'll do a face-off from the right defensive circle, closest Rodebush. It'll be Zulkanich and Tim Perks. Prowlers will win it, but we'll have to cycle it back through the neutral zone. Now Federley looking for that feed to Zulkanich, a little ahead of him, and Daniel will swing that running around in a U. Goes off of the skate of an Icebreaker, and now it's Tim Perks through the neutral zone, crossing the blue line. And offsides called again on Mentor. That's the second time in this period, and trying to still rein everything in here in the last 10 minutes of the first period and first couple of this. It's been a little shaky on the focus for the Icebreakers.
Yeah, and offsides is an issue in the first period. It's carrying over here in the first 2 minutes of the second already. Twice the Icebreakers have been offsides.
Zulkanich and Perks on the draw. Icebreakers will win it. Daniel will swing that one around the net. Icebreakers coming to tonight's game at 12-9 through 21, trying to pick up even more ground in the Eastern Division. Prowlers, Western Division, so this is an East-West game, only one tonight. Morrow takes a spill on the ice. Now Daniel skates forward, had a good approach, gets it back to Perks. Perks winds up, deflects off of the pads there of Paulin. Paulin's been pretty rock solid thus far for the Prowlers, with a .347 goal allowed per game, 415 saves, and a .916 save percentage. Morrow will race after that one. He's going to challenge Paulin, but Paulin able to feed the outlet there to Joe Pace Jr. over the glove of who is it? That was, Richie Pinkowski. It's Pinkowski's first time in the Christmas jerseys this year. That one almost goes in the right corner off of the stick of Portillo. Pinkowski been out a few weeks. Good to see him back out on the ice. Now that one goes off the left post. He's hanging on the slot. Pass just goes behind him. Pinkowski was right where he needed to be. Portillo will cut it off at the blue line in the defensive zone there, and now it's Alfonso Diaz in possession of the puck, feeds it up towards the neutral zone, trying to get it to Pinkowski. Helping him out is Stuart Dant, but it's Giuliano that will free the puck. Joe Pace Jr. at center ice sends that one into defensive zone, but Stuart Dant will regain possession. Neither team able to string together more than 2 passes in the last couple of minutes. Racing after that one, Port Huron will get there first and send it into the safety net with 16-14 remaining here in the first period play, second period play. Don't forget, season ticket packages are still available, starting at under $12 per seat. A brand new 7-game flex package is also available, giving you 7 ticket vouchers to use at any home game this season. For more information, visit MenRiceBurgers.com or call 440-290-8502. Face off now in the Icebreakers defensive zone. Good outlet pass to Conway. Conway comes across right circle, takes a push from behind, trying to keep this one alive. Gets it to Farrington. Nice cut back by Farrington. Farrington to Conway. Went slot to Esri, but that one well behind him. And Rodebush will come up and get that one back into play for the Icebreakers. Good forecheck now by Nippert and Matt Graham. David Nippert from Lewisport. Now Esri chasing after it. Center ice. Henry Berger back on. Nobody there, and he'll have to dump it back in as the Icebreakers on the change. 15:30 remaining, and 22-13 the shot on goal advantage for the Prowlers. They've had pretty much control of the game for about the last 15 minutes, carrying over from the first period. Esri trying to avoid Matt Graham's forecheck and will, as Prowlers will elect to get on the change. Now Esri crosses center ice, picking up speed, feeds it to Perks, left side blue line. Now goes right side to Morrow. He's got Esri behind the net, trying to turn it in, flips it into the net, glove down by Brian Parsons and put back out into play. Good job by Brian Parsons there behind the net. Action here on the near boards. Robertson gets it centered to Zolkanich. Nice quick pass there to Dalton J, and the net comes off. A nice little trio of passes by the Prowlers, though, here in the defensive zone before the net gets dislodged.
Prowlers thought they had a goal there that time, but the official was quick to give the no goal signal that time. Looked like the net came off. If the puck ever went in the net, it was before the puck went in the net.
Now they avoid giving up the goal, but at the other end of the ice, what would you say is the biggest factor for the Icebreakers to get a bit more offense going at the other end?
Well, you have to give Paulin credit, but right now the Prowlers are all over the Icebreakers defensively. They're really not they're cutting up the passing lanes. They're not giving them any easy looks at the net, making things pretty easy on their netminder.
So face-off now, left defensive circle. Federally will win that, gets away from Joe Keenan, chips it behind the net. Daniuk now works it up to Blake Nada in his third weekend with the team from Brooklyn, Ohio. And once again, right back down towards Rodebush. Rodebush to Morrow. Morrow crosses the neutral zone. Trying to feed it to Nada. Nada's in a race to get it before Joe Pace can get there. And a whistle on the ice at 14-14 now. I believe that's another offsides against the Icebreakers.
That's going to be a penalty this time. I think it's going to be a slashing call against Joe Pace. Looks like he got Nada right on the hand.
It was close for Nada being offsides, but yeah, he is holding his hand. He'll be attended to by our great Lake Health athletic trainers, Chris Lewis, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood. Thanks for them providing great medical staff and service throughout today's game and throughout the entire season. Caught one on the hand. Hopefully we'll be fine there. Farrington on the draw, but an immediate whistle after. So it's Joe Pace Jr. going in the box for the second time tonight. Still trying to come up with the term for 3 trips to that tricks. Or 3 trips to the penalty box.
There you go.
Slashing is the call against Joe Pace Jr. Any way you want to slice it or say it. Translate it this way. It's a minute 45, and the Icebreakers are on the Lake Health power play, although they are chasing the puck in their own defensive zone at this point. Now, 3 trips to the penalty box, and Joe Pace is 2/3 of the way there. Conway now. He's got Berger slot. He elected to take the shot himself. Rebound by Esri, and the save made. Conway leads the team in points and goals, but Henry Berger was open there in the slot.
And that's about as good as the chances the Icebreakers have had all night that time, getting a big rebound from Paulin, but Paulin came up big there to make the save once again.
Henry Berger, the righty defenseman out of Claremont, California, played collegiately D3 at Northland College. Farrington will go up against Zulkanich now. Gets it back to Brody Duncan, right side blue, and now feeds it left side. Wind up there, deflects back out. Good job by Federley to clear it out of Dodge. And Duncan will chase it down. 13:28 remaining here in the second period of play. 1:11 in the Lake Health power play. Crossing over into the neutral zone. Duncan to Berger. Berger to Conway. Conway tries to dump it back to Berger. That's picked up by Zulkanich. Farrington takes it back. Duncan winds up. That one almost goes in long side as Paulin was pulled out towards the left. 50 seconds left in this Lake Health power play. Brody Duncan dumps it down. Fast break the other way. Dalton J skates past his man, winds up, rebound, Rodebush still in play. Dalton J somehow found his way into the crease and got off that shot. He was heavily guarded by the Icebreakers. Esri the other way, skates through the circles, gets tripped up, tangled up, able to get it to Conway. And now they lose control and went for Farrington's slot. Diaz will wind up. Goes for a shot on goal. You don't see too many offensive chances for Diaz. He usually hangs out at the defensive end, but got off a shot on goal there for the Pembroke Pines, Florida native. A little miscommunication. Nobody home there at the right side of the blue line, and having to chase all the way back down his own right circle is Declan Conway. 2 seconds left. 1, and the Prowlers are back to full strength. Nippered in, shot on goal, bounces back out once again. Icebreakers starting to even out the shots on goal, now trailing 24-18 in that category, but the Prowlers still lead at 1-0. Under 12 minutes remaining here in the second period of play, heading towards the Labatt Blues second intermission. Perks being challenged by Parsons. Morrow was there in the slot, but again, this looks reminiscent to last night in the final couple minutes as the Prowlers continue to clear it the length of the ice.
Yeah, right now the Icebreakers have about as much momentum as they've had all game following that power play. A couple of good looks, but going back to that Dalton J breakaway, he played that puck about as perfectly as you could play it. There's no room between those two Icebreakers blue liners, and he somehow made room and had a great look at the net on Austin Rudebush, who made the glove save.
And while the Prowlers haven't scored more than one goal yet, they've had a few times where you've said that today, Jared, where they've played it about perfectly. The Prowlers have had a pretty good, strong showing, despite only having one goal on the board at this point. They've definitely challenged Rodebush down here in the back line of the Icebreakers. Now, beautiful. You can't do it any better. You can't do it any better there. David Nippert to Matt Graham, bar down, and Rodebush was kind of left there, a little high and dry in that one. Not much you could do about a good offensive movement of the puck there by the Prowlers at 11:24 here in the second period.
Somehow they forgot about Matt Graham on the backside, who got one of the easier goals he's going to get. That's just an easy deflection. Played puck perfectly on the blocker side of Rodebush. Didn't really have much of a chance at it.
So that was Nippert on the right side to Matt Graham. And Matt Graham in the slot goes bar down at 11:24 to make it 2-0. So the Prowlers have really maintained control of this one since about this point of the first period of play. Now, in the neutral zone, Giuliano crosses the blue line. That's Matt Graham's 27th point and 9th goal. David Nippert picks up his 12th assist. And Matt Robertson also credited on the double assist. So Matt Robertson, another point, and that's his 22nd assist. And Matt Robertson's definitely been a special player for this Prowlers franchise. When you think of over the last 5 years in the FPHL, you have to put him in. You probably have to put him in the top 5 of guys that have been consistently here at this level.
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. And I think his productivity is all you need to look at to back that up. 300-something points in his career. You'd
have to have him. You'd have to have Tyler Urich from the Watertown Wolves, but guys that have been a staple in this league. I mean, they've been in it. Those two guys have been in the FPHL and having success for longer than about half of the teams in the league. So the Prowlers up 2-0, and again, they're also looking to extend that win streak to 7. Now, Menor did a great job. They stopped, they snapped, they broke the streak of Danbury, which was 11 for the Reeling expansion team. But the Prowlers were coming in with quite a bit of momentum themselves. Now, the feed to Dalton J, a little backhand pass there from Zulkanich. Good job defensively, though, by Daniel. And he's got his man, Isaiah Crawford. It goes off of the top of the stick of Crawford, though. I thought Crawford was going to have a one-on-one with Federley in a fast break opportunity, as we are now exactly 10 minutes left here. And they are trying to free that puck in the far corner. I want to thank Casey Healy on the video stream again, and Jared Tennant, communications manager and color commentator, Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew as they try to free this puck. Finally, it is freed. 9:42 remaining. 26-18 shot on goal advantage, and I think it's the Prowlers have just been playing their brand of hockey. They came in here to Menor Ice Arena, maybe not in the first couple of minutes, but since then they've been playing their game. Wind up there trying to make a difference is Joe Keenan, fresh off a 2-point night last night. Joe Keenan, maybe one of his strongest efforts of the year last night, as he is now at a 5-point scoring line and a whistle on the ice at 9:15, an official timeout. I want to thank Taylor Ruyer on game day operations and Frank Schmidt, operations intern. Scott Tennant, Chris Uran, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Alec Arslanian, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, and Bobby Van Sickle are all Fights officials as we go to trivia time here at Menor Ice Arena, Menor Youth Hockey Night and Junior Icebreakers Kids Club Night. A great crowd on hand, but Jared, I think this crowd wants to see some action at the other end of the ice.
Yeah, they've had some success here offensively. Haven't got one past Pollen, but generating some really good scoring chances. And unfortunately, that Prowlers goal just stole the momentum right back from the Icebreakers.
And a good trivia question here for a fanatic is, what year was the FHL? It was the Federal Hockey League before becoming the FPHL, the Federal Prospect Hockey League. And that answer is 2010. You remember, Jared? Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the initial Commissioner's Cup champions? And can you pronounce the city name correctly as your clue?
I want to say it's Akwesasne, maybe?
Well, you have the right team, the Akwesasne Warriors. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but they are the initial champion. Is that a city in New York? I'm not 100% sure where Akwesasne is. But they are the initial champ, and the reason I remember it was them because when I was looking up last year that the Thunderbirds set the new record for an FPHL most wins in a row, it was previously held by those Akwesasne Warriors. 21-game winning streak, not too bad in a Commissioner's Cup in their stint in the league. We'll have a face-off here, left defensive circle. Battling for control of the puck, 2-0 Prowlers, with a 26-19 shot on goal advantage, winning both categories. Quick feed over there now to Nippert, who was in on the assist to Graham. That's how it worked last time. Look at that, Robertson skating in perfectly. That's the same scoring line last time, but unable to get off the shot as the pass went a bit behind Robertson. 8:45 remaining now here in the second period of play. Wind up from Parsons. That one deflects off of the shoulder of Berger. Berger crosses into the neutral zone. Feeds his man Morrow. Left circle, crosses over. And again, as Jared alluded to earlier, every time the Icebreakers have had a chance to get down there, they're being cut off diagonally and not being able to get that great look at a shot on goal. Wind up there, that's a good look, but it goes hard and out of play off of the stick of Brody Duncan. 8:18 remaining now in the second period of play. We hope everyone is enjoying their holiday break, and we would like to thank our Fanatics for their tremendous support with the donations to 2 charitable causes over the holidays: Meals on Wheels, Blizzard Bags, and Marine Toys for Tots. Through your generosity, the Lake County Council on Aging is able to make up Blizzard Bags for Meals on Wheels clients to have on hand in case of weather emergency, prevents the normal Meals on Wheels distribution, and always were a little bit brighter for local children in need who received your gifts of games and toys. We truly have the best fans. Thank you once again. Now, Farrington trying to get it to Conway, but that pass goes behind him. 7:56 remaining. Esri flips it forward center ice, but Joe Pace Jr. is there, and he gets it to Wade. Wade will wind up from beyond the blue line, and the left glove save made by Rodebush. Now, this is good that Rodebush is making these saves because you can't let the game get even more out of hand. But something has to get done to counter and get down a bit faster. Port Huron's using their speed and quick passing to set up all these shots on goal. Menor is not getting as good of looks, or at least as open of looks at the other end.
Yeah, and the first time the Prowlers came here this season, November 22nd, they jumped out to, I think it was a 4-0 lead, and this game's looking pretty similar to that right now before the Icebreakers made it more of a game in the third period with a couple of goals, but we'll see what happens the final 7 minutes of this period if the Icebreakers can get anything going offensively.
And that is, when you come in on a winning streak, there's equal momentum because the team wants to do everything they can to keep that winning streak intact, but at the same time, just like last night, you want to knock that team off as Menor knocked Danbury off last night in a great game. 7:14 remaining in the second period of play. Esri feeds it to Farrington behind the net, and now the Prowlers are coming the other way. Battling for control of the puck, kind of volleying it back and forth now. Icebreakers in their own defensive zone. Keenan avoiding the forecheck pressure of Zulkanic. Now, feeds it outside. Good pass up to Esri. Esri on the far boards. Conway's with him. Esri will take it himself. Leading forward with that stick. Pushes it forward. Trying to get to Stuart Dan. Paulin has it sneak behind him, but he will land on top, and that was one of the closer opportunities for the Icebreakers.
That's probably the third time the puck has been loose in the crease, and Paulin's just able to fall on it and keep it out of the net. Sometimes when a goaltender is hot like that, everything seems to be going his way.
That one nearly crossed the line, but Paulin saw it and dove on it. He did what he could, and Paulin's had a great game so far. 21 saves on the night, his 6-5 record, but he's doing everything he can to keep this a scoreless game against Menor. And at that time, Menor's going to have a bit of advantage as they go on the Lake Health power play now, as it's a trip to the box for Matt Stoya. Stoya going to the box, the Marysville, Michigan native. And Menor on the Lake Health power play. Again, a big thank you to Lake Health for providing their athletic trainers as well as training facilities. We'll see if Menor can get something going on the power play now. Got one power play goal last night, trying to get some momentum. Trailing 2-0 with 6:17 remaining. Duncan looks back and finds Perks. Perks cross over the right circle. Now back to Berger. Flip forward there to Stuart Dan. Stuart Dan winds up, goes just off the backboards. Holding is the call against Stoya. Minute 19 remaining in the Lake Health power play. Alex Morrow, he's got Austin Federley on him. Now center, finally get it to Berger. Berger's going to have a chance. Wind up just goes wide left. Stuart Dant now goes wide right. 1:02 remaining in the Lake Health power play. Stuart Dant feeds it left circle to Duncan. Duncan trying to bounce it off the edge of his stick is Berger there. Icebreakers get it back. Duncan winds up, trying to get the deflection shot there. But again, a heads-up play by Paulin.
There's too many missed shots for the Icebreakers. You can't score without putting it on net. They had about 4 or 5 attempts that just went wide.
5:22 remaining here in the second period of play from Menor Ice Arena. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday night. 27-22 the shot on goal advantage for the Prowlers, and 2-0 is the lead for the guys in white, red, and black. When we return from the Labatt Blue second intermission, we'll bring you the saves of the period brought to you by Vitamix, and check out that out-of-town scoreboard. Diaz now to Esri. Esri to Farrington. Farrington back to Diaz, left side blue line. Diaz works it right side to Daniel. Daniel looking between the circles. Feeds it to Esri, but a bit out of reach. Back to Daniel. Though goes off his skate, keeps it down here in the defensive zone of the Prowlers. 19 seconds left of the Prowler play. That one almost goes off the deflection from Conway. Conway turns and shoots. Oh, wow. What a shot by Declan Conway. He had the initial nudge and then got his own rebound, forced it through off the edge of his stick. He's still shaking off his hand. And another save made by Paulin.
Yeah, somehow, some way, Chris Paulin is coming up big, keeping this puck out of the net. Honestly, I have no idea how that one didn't go in.
Chris Paulin's been in 17 games this year, 6-5 record. He is the lefty from Lockport, New York, 5'11", 175. Spent some time with the Thunderbirds prior to coming to Port Huron. And only 12 seconds left in the Lake Cal power play. Men are they've done a pretty good job on this power play of keeping it down here in the Prowlers' defensive zone, but pretty good is not going to put points on the board.
Yeah, sometimes when you get a hot goaltender like Paulin, you just got to try to put pucks on net and deflect them and see what can happen. Just throw them on net, especially on the power play like they are right now. It's been a pretty decent man advantage so far.
Prowlers with a different style than the Delaware Thunder, but Paulin's performing a little bit reminiscent as he makes a low save made there from the shot center from Duncan. A little reminiscent of Delaware's performance when they came here and won 3-2 over the Icebreakers.
And that was Aaron Taylor that stole a victory away from the Icebreakers, and it was a 3-2 win, I believe.
Aaron Taylor stole 51 shots on goal away. He had a tremendous save performance on the road here for an expansion team. And the Thunder turning things around. We'll check out how they're doing a little later. Tough Eastern Division, West tough as well. And now the Prowlers, who have been picking up momentum in that Western Division on a 6-game winning streak and winning 2-0 right now. Trying to clear it out of their own defensive zone as the Prowlers back to full strength. Men are only trailing shots on goal by 1. Nippert dumps it back off a give and go with Robertson. Duncan cuts him off. Now in the crease trying to get that one off is Graham. Graham unable to do so, and he's looking for a sub there. Again, that's on the change. Berger battling down here in the backboards. Now, Menor crosses over the blue line. Tim Perks past the left circle. He sees Conway there in the slot. Conway will have to go help out Esri there, trying to get control of the puck. 3:47 remaining here in the second period of play. And that one goes off of the safety net. Prowlers still up by 2. Want to think of a few of our corporate sponsors. Marco's Pizza with locations in Menor-on-the-Lake, Willoughby, Painesville, and South Euclid. Kemp LLC, Conway Land Title, Toe Drag Apparel, CSP Insurance, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, Market Street Family Restaurant, Global Real Estate Advisors, Spuddy's Tavern, and Vitamix. We'll tell you more of our great sponsors in just a moment. And they're going to make a swap there, and switching in now is Justin Portillo to take the draw. Now feed over into neutral zone. Again, John Butita called up to the SPHL, the third icebreaker to be called up, along with Joe Fatoma, who was called up last year to the Evansville Thunderbolts in Indiana. Butita, the Quad City Storm, now in Illinois. And Drake Hunter, who's still with the Peoria Rivermen in Illinois. So a pair of Illinois teams. Some Midwest hockey in the SPHL. It's about as northern as the league gets. Tim Perks trying to fight his way through multiple Prowlers on the back line there, unable to do so, and now Portillo will cut across into the neutral zone. Icebreakers regain possession. Joe Keenan looking for his option. He's got Gregorich looking in, as well as Portillo on the forecheck. Morrow racing after that puck to get there first. 2:47 remaining on the clock now. Morrow boarded up by Parsons. Esri now battling for control with Stoya. Couple of boards up there and on the back glass. Prowlers clear it. Federally crosses blue line. Picking up speed, dumps it back off to Portillo. And Rodebush with another quality save at the other end of the ice.
That time it looked like a 3-on-2 that just came out of nowhere. It looked like the Icebreakers had that one covered, and all of a sudden the Prowlers ran on a 3-on-2 break using their speed again.
Prowlers one of the faster teams in the FPHL, and they also kind of sneak up there on one side. They were hanging out on the right side of the blue line in the first period. They've been kind of doing that on the left side here in the second period of play. 2:21 remaining on the clock. Port Huron scored one in the first, one in the second, and that's where we're at. Menor being held scoreless. Now Rodebush tips that one forward to Diaz. Diaz chips it to Farrington. Forecheck pressure there by the Prowlers. Austin Federley. Esri gets caught up with Dalton J. And Dalton J will feed that one forward. Dalton J, the Hamilton, Ontario native. 5'10", 198 righty. A top scorer as well. 7'9", 16 scoring line, but has a lot of speed in setting up plays for the Prowlers. Tangled up there on the far corner. Minute 40 now remaining. 29-26 shot on goal advantage for the Prowlers. Declan Conway now crosses through the neutral zone, tips it forward to himself, but it's tangled up with Joe Pace Jr., and that will draw the whistle.
It's going to be an interference call on Joe Pace. He's got too much of Declan Conway that time as Conway was trying to chase.
You know what that is, right?
There it
That's
is.
3 trips to the box. We've been waiting to call it. Now we have to figure out a name for it. How about a try foul?
No, you can't. No fouls in hockey. I don't like that.
You don't like foul? Okay. Do you have a better one?
No, it's all on you. I'll leave that.
All right, we'll think about it in the second intermission. But Joe Pace Jr. has done it all tonight. He has scored a goal and he's taken 3 trips to the box. So he's been busy.
Now you see that play a lot where guys try to kind of get in guys' ways after they dump in the puck, try to keep them away from that puck and let their teammates get to it first. But that time, Joe Pace just got too much of Declan Conway, and the officials made him pay for it, sent him to the box.
So the Icebreakers will go on the Lake Health power play, and I know they've struggled a bit on the power play, but it's got to be about time where you'd be able to capitalize on one of these in crucial minute. If you could score a goal, cut the lead in 1-1.
I think Joe Pace just had some words with the official and got himself 2 more minutes on that. So it's going to be a 4-minute power play for the Icebreakers with 1:28 to go in the period.
His name's all over tonight's story. So the Icebreakers, they're trying to get a goal here in the final minutes of the period. 2 minutes for interference and 2 minutes for high sticking are the minor penalties.
So my apologies to Joe Pace. I assumed it was unsportsmanlike, but the high sticking, I didn't see that.
Although you could make an argument that that play would be unsportsmanlike conduct on the field, but done in a physical way. So here's what's going to happen. 1:16 remaining in the second period of play, 3:49 in the Lake Health power play. So if Menor scores before the end of the period, the power play will expire. But if not, this is carrying over for a couple of minutes into the third period, which could be very crucial for the Icebreakers. They, of course, would like to knock one into the back of the net now, though, with 1:05 remaining. Port Huron going to do everything they can to make sure that's not the case, as they start off on a good thing by flipping that down the length of the ice. 55 seconds left, 3:26 in the period, or in the power play. Now the feed to Esri. Esri will dump that one behind the net. 44 seconds left now, second period. And again, Port Huron dumps it down. So this looks very familiar. Once again, the Prowlers have been pretty successful on the penalty kill. Men are taking their time to leave the net area. Berger will find Esri. Esri skates past his man, Zulkanich. Zulkanich. And now the feed back to Esri. Esri wide right. 18 seconds left in the second period. Behind the net now. Esri will skate for it, but Port Huron try to clear it. Kept alive here. Wind up from Berger. Bounces off. Nobody there for the deflection. And Paulin will reach out and make the save. And that might have been a chance for a deflection goal, as the left side was open, and that's where the puck fell to.
I thought that puck might have snuck under the pad of Paulin, but he came up with the save once again.
Paulin is having impeccable placement. 5.9 seconds left in the second period. 2:38 in the Lake Health power play. And the Prowlers looking to make it 2 shutout periods in a row. That one goes far wide right. 1 second left. And we're at double zeros, where the score is the Port Huron Prowlers 2, and the Menor Icebreakers 0. So Joe Pace Jr. scored the first goal in the first period, and then the double assist in the second period from Robertson and Graham, or Robertson and Nippert to Matt Graham. 11:24 remaining in this period, and with a 29-27 shot on goal, 2 is the difference. Those 2 shots on goal going into the back of the net. Prowlers 2-0.
I don't think the Icebreakers have necessarily played a bad game. It's just they've had their offensive chances. They just haven't been able to get any past Pollins so far, and that's more of a testament to the goaltender than it is struggles of the Icebreakers, I think, at least to this point.
So we're going to go to the Labatt Blues second intermission. We'll come back. Jared will have the scores from around the league, and we'll give you the Vitamix saves of the period. Keep it right here on YouTube.com. Welcome back here to Menor Ice Arena, and the score is the Port Huron Prowlers 2, the Menor Icebreakers 0. Jared, take it away on the scores around the FPHL, including some intriguing scores, especially the one you're looking at right now.
We'll start off in Watertown. Delaware on top of the Wolves, who've been struggling lately, up 2-1. A couple of shorthanded goals in the first and second period by Evgeny Demin and Anton Kalinin before the Wolves scored to get back within one. Danbury just went ahead of Elmira 4-3. Danville is up 4-2 on Columbus at home. And Carolina clinging to a 3-2 lead to the second intermission over Battle Creek. The Rumblebees looking for their first win.
The Battle Creek Rumblebees coming in at 0-22, playing hard. Whether they win or not, you have to give that franchise credit. They are not giving up. They've came close. They lost a shootout to Elmira the other weekend. Rumblebees and their fans, and they're growing. I almost feel like they're growing in fans because people just really want to see them win.
Yeah, I think everybody in the league wants them to win against everybody except for their team, which is part of the reason why they have not won a game yet.
Carolina has rattled off 50 shots on goal, and Battle Creek has 10, yet Battle Creek trails only by 1 goal. That is huge credit to Joel Eisenhower, former Icebreaker.
Yeah, definitely having probably the best game of his career right now. He doesn't have a win yet in his, I think, 2 or 3 year FBHL career in limited action, but he's looking for it tonight.
So when you look forward here to the third period, Menor has shown they're capable of scoring plenty of goals quickly. Heck, 3 in under 5 minutes in the first period yesterday. But what is going to be the ultimate key to putting it together here as now you go into this one being shut out?
I don't really think there's one thing. Obviously, you have about 3 minutes of power play time to kick off this period, and a great way to get things started would be putting one past Pollen here.
Yeah, we'll see what they could do. Can they capitalize on the Lake Health power play? Haven't been able to do so, but this is an extended one due to the double minor. So we'll see what can happen here. 4 minutes away from intermission. Let's bring you the Vitamix saves of the period, and that is brought to you by Vitamix. Practices to game day. Our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life in that period. The shots on goal were 16 for Menor and 9 for Port Huron, and all 16 of those were saved by Paulin, who's now at 27 saves on the evening. Of the 9 shots on goal for Port Huron, 8 saved by Rodebush. That's brought to you by Vitamix as we get set here on Menor Youth Hockey Night, once again sponsored by Moe's Southwest Grill. And Menor Youth Hockey players got to join the players for the national anthem and do the ceremonial puck drop, and then also as well got to be a part of some of the intermissions. They did a little shootout during the Labatt Blues second intermission, and it was Junior Icebreakers Kids Club night as well, and your kids can get involved too, ages 5 to 16. Brand new Icebreakers Club. Receive a membership t-shirt and card, having special access to events with players, and will receive free admission with a paying adult during select games through the 2019-2020 season. Cost is just $15 per season per child. For more information, next time you're stop by the merchandise table or visit MenorIcebreakers.com. Again, thank you again for helping us out with the Meals on Wheels Blizzard bags and the Toys for Tots with the Marines. Got a lot of toys and food for our Northeast Ohio communities, and we appreciate our Fanatics support as we get set for the third period of play from Menor Ice Arena and a full slate of action FPHL. Now, tomorrow night, we'll do it all again with the Prowlers back in town. 3 home games in a row on this extended homestand post-Christmas. We won on Boxing Day in what was really a boxing match with the Danbury Hat-Tricks, not in physicality, but just a tremendous bout there last night, and now the 2 with Port Huron. And when you take a look ahead to the schedule, after this, it'll be New Year's Eve. Danville will have the broadcast. Check them out there. 8:05 starts on New Year's Eve, Tuesday and Friday, to kick off the new year, January 3rd, against Dashers. And then on Saturday, January 4th, we'll be back here, 6:30 start, to conclude the split home and away series with the Danville Dashers before a road trip to Carolina. And that's how we start the 2020 portion of the schedule, about midway through here in the 2019-20 season. Icebreakers in their second season. Port Huron debuted back in 2016. And to be Commissioner's Cup champions in your first year is a pretty impressive feat, would you say, Jared? To be Commissioner's Cup champions in the first year, Port Huron?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. The Prowlers really, as an organization, they've had a ton of success in their brief existence. Kind of a model of an expansion franchise. We're seeing something like that in Danbury this year, as the Hat-Tricks seem to have done everything right, and they're currently in the Eastern Division because of it.
And the Prowlers runner-ups to that Commissioner's Cup in 2018. Men are, of course, in their inaugural season last year. Finished 5th, avoided finishing 6th, and the Dashers took 6th last year despite having a pretty fast start. As we get set, teams take back to the ice here for the third period of play. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday night on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers game. Again, the couple of call-ups to the SPHL. John Butita to the Quad City Storm. Corey Simons, goaltender for the Prowlers, got called up to the Pensacola Ice Flowers. And Drake Hunter from last year is with the Peoria Rivermen still. Joe Fatoma also had gotten called up to the Evansville Thunderbolts for a portion of last year. Always good to see the guys move on. You miss them here, especially when they add so much to the team. As Simons was 6-0 in the pipes for the Prowlers, and Butita had an 18-20-38 scoring line in 20 games. And the third period is underway. Icebreakers will be on the Lake Kelp power play for the remaining 2:26 and 19:52 on the clock. And a whistle immediately on the ice here, just 13 seconds into the game. Tonight's night sponsored by Moe's Southwest Grill. Check them out with 2 locations in Menor as well as South Euclid and Mayfield. Great queso, great tomatillo salsa, some bowls as well. Check out Moe's Southwest Grill. 2:18 now left in the Lake Elk power play. Men are trying to clear it out of their defensive zone. They do. Nate Farrington now crosses the blue line. He's got Esri and then Brody Duncan left side. Can't get it back. And now Port Huron battling for control. Robertson, his stick caught up there with Declan Conway. Frees it, gets it to Matt Graham. Graham back to Robertson. Good feed left circle. And they will dump that one behind the net. Now the Icebreakers cross it to the neutral zone. Trying to make something happen on this Lake Health power play. Trailing 2-0. Berger skates all the way up. Bounces. That was in perfect position for Farrington to tap it back in. But it bounced just out of his reach. Now, right there again in the slot. And Berger close to scoring again. Farrington somehow got sandwiched in between 3 Prowlers. 19:02 on the clock. Minute 35 in the Lake Health power play. And officials will sort this one out. What the face-off looks like down here in the Prowlers' defensive zone.
I like that move by Henry Berger, aggressively skating into the zone like that. You don't see that from him too often, but he's been one of the better offensive defensemen for the Icebreakers on the season.
Henry Berger with a .358 scoring line in 21 games. Had a couple of looks there. See a lot of junior Icebreakers here. They got the pretty cool t-shirt for the Junior Icebreakers Club. You get a nice red shirt with the Slam logo, the light blue and dark blue shark. Your kid can join the Junior Icebreakers Club as well. The little fanatics out in the world. Now, Dimitri Danieluk skates forward, loses control of the puck, but Tim Perks will recover it and cycle it back in his own defensive zone. Minute 6 left in this power play. Nothing happening yet, but Perks trying to change that. He'll skate all the way, turn, shoot, rebound Stuart Dant, can't get it off in time, and now Stoya will cross it center ice. Perks wins it back, crosses the blue line, feeds it center, wind up from Morrow, the birthday boy goes just high. And that one will get dumped down the length of the ice. Rodebush will come out of his net to save some time, only 38 seconds left in the power play. Tim Perks loses it to Stoya. Stoya will flip it forward, and again, now Brody Duncan's got to chase it down. 30 seconds left, 17:57 remaining here in the period. Flips down towards the net. Paulin wants some help. He gets it, and Matt Graham will dump it down the length of the ice. Rodebush takes a look at the clock, knowing this is their chance to break that lead and cut it in half. Only 12 seconds left now here in the Lake Health power play. Duncan surveying his options, but the forechecking here by Matt Graham's taking off key seconds. 3 seconds left in the power play. 2-1, and the Prowlers avoid a 4-minute penalty kill and are back to full strength. Wind-up shot right after, though. We've seen that happen from Danbury yesterday. They didn't score on the power play and scored a goal moments after. Esri was close there. Now Graham, Robertson, they go tandem pair down. Esri cuts that off, crosses into the neutral zone, feeds it forward to Farrington, but a little out of reach there. And getting there first will be the Prowlers' back line.
Again, just right idea there on the pass, but just not great execution, which is what we saw a lot of on that power play for the Icebreakers. Right idea, saw some good things, but too many mistakes and the execution was not there.
They've tied up the shots on goal as well as cut off the look there to Austin Federle, but got to get on the scoreboard, still trailing 2-0 with 16:40 remaining in the period. Just a bit of the execution needs to be fine-tuned here tonight. We've seen it before for the Icebreakers, but trying to get that rhythm and roll going. Danieluk now is looking to get it to Conway or Berger or Stewart. Danny had 3 guys hanging out near the net. Stewart Dance skates forward to the slot. I thought he was going to get it now going the other way. Here comes Esri, crosses center ice, and he will send that one off the backboards. Icebreakers on the change, 16:15 remaining here in the period. Prowlers with the 2-0 lead. Stoya works that one outlet and gets that to Oade. Now from behind the net, Daniel comes out, feeds that one forward. Stewart Dant crosses over, the veteran. He's got Isaiah Crawford out there, some fresh legs, Jackson Tucker. A lot of the newcomers to the Icebreakers this year. They've been with the team since the beginning of the year. And Tucker tried to feed Crawford. Crawford got a bit tripped up but couldn't get the shot off. 15:38 now in the third period of play. Both teams at full strength. Crawford will forecheck. Prowlers able to clear it into the neutral zone. Zolkanich, good feed there, but Wade can't get there first. Zolkanich gets it back, though, crosses the blue line, comes right circle, wind up, a hard one, deflects off of the pads from Rodebush. Rodebush has been good tonight. The Mentor needs to capitalize at the other end. They have a chance now, 2-on-1. Perks and Morrow. Perks to Morrow, wind up and goes just wide right. I thought he was going to have a birthday goal there. Good feed by Perks. He held on to the puck and fed it to him at the right time, but it went just a bit wide right.
Yeah, they needed that one for sure. I'm sure Morrow wants that one back. He had the open net, but just skied it.
Now Port Huron clears that one away from the slot as Mentor almost had a chance for a rebound right after Perks crosses the blue line. Perks playing some good offense here in the last couple of minutes. Trying to get the turn here. Boarded up. Morrow will recover it. Zolkanich is tangling up with them. 14:40 remaining now. Jurovic almost got the deflection to Morrow. Morrow's been close several times today. Alex Morrow's been a good improvement this year, especially offensively. He's a good player last year, but Morrow's had a good stat line. 5-10-15. Now Prowlers on the counter. Quickly coming the other way. Dalton J. after the quick pass. That was a good look from Jarrett Pfeiffer, the Ypsilanti, Michigan native, home to Eastern Michigan. Haven't seen him yet on the ice, and made a good pass there for a near assist. Matt Graham in possession of a neutral zone now to Stoya. Stoya gloved down there by Berger. 31-29, the shot on goal advantage in favor of the Prowlers. 2-0, also in the lead. Kind of tipping it forward there to himself is Declan Conway, but the Prowlers will send it all the way the other end. Matt Robertson beats the call. Looking to get it back to Nippert, but Esri has other thoughts. Finds Farrington in a near fast break opportunity. Farrington and Conway would have been 2-on-1 with Austin Federle, but a good job by Robertson. And now whistle on the ice with 13:21 remaining here in the third period.
Yeah, so far this period's gone the Prowlers' way for the most part. They're limiting the Icebreakers' chances and still keeping them off the board. Icebreakers have not been shut out this season. Last time they were shut out was that game down in Carolina. I think it was an 8 or 9-0 loss when they just had, I think, 13 or 14 active players.
Oh yeah, that was a tough weekend for the Icebreakers against the Thunderbirds. They had 4 emergency call-ups to the team that played just that weekend, including Kelly Curl in goal, a former Carolina Thunderbird.
Actually, a couple of those guys were reserve players for the Thunderbirds. They loaned out to the Icebreakers for the weekend.
Yeah, that was a wild weekend. So Icebreakers do not want to fall on that same pattern of a shutout. They've played so well at both ends of the ice this year and find themselves in great contention of the Eastern Division. Now Strack dumps it back to Portillo. Portillo's going to get a good look, and it goes wide left. Giuliano now tipped forward, though, by Farrington. Now still able to get off the shot. 2-0 Prowlers. Neutral zone, Giuliano to Portillo. Back to Giuliano, tipped off the edge of his stick, but it's stolen. Pickpocketed there by Keenan. Keenan surveying his options, but eventually is cut off by Portillo once again. The Toledo, Ohio native. Same hometown as Brody Duncan. 12-11 remaining here in the period. And the Prowlers have been backed up by a strong effort from Chris Paulin with 29 saves. And the speed on offense, like right now, Zulkanich cuts back, surveying his options, winds up that one in traffic, flips it to the air, doesn't travel very far, and he gets it back. Stoya now winds up in traffic, off of Rotobush's right glove, and the Icebreakers clear it the length of the ice. Now, battling to keep control down here is Alex Morrow once again. He's been a busy guy tonight. Brody Duncan at center ice. Morrow on the long change. The windup in the glove save by Farrington.
Early whistle there from the official. Paulin was not happy. He wanted to get that one out to his defenseman.
So 11:28, and already half of the third period has expired. It seems like a very fast-moving period.
And exactly how the Prowlers want it. Just get through this period, limit the damage offensively, and keep Paulin, keep his shutout intact.
And pick up win number 7 on their win streak. A lot of ground to catch up against Carolina, but top 4 teams in both divisions make the FPHL playoffs. Brody Duncan was going for the deflection off the wrist shot there, but it comes back out. Duncan winds up again, and that's a hard deflection that goes out of play. Man, I thought the first shot was very hard. The second one was double hard. I want to thank Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Chris Uran, Greg Kopp, Alec Arslanian, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, and Bobby Van Sickle are all Vice officials. Taylor Ruyer, game day operations. Frank Schmidt, operations intern. Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew. Jared Tennant alongside me on color commentary and communications manager of game recap up on the Icebreakers website after the game. And Casey Healy on the video stream. Now the other way, Matt Robertson racing after it, going up against Henry Berger. Berger able to get there first, trying to clear it away from the Prowlers. Matt Graham there as well. Icebreakers do so. Farrington, Desri fakes the windup, takes it right circle, windup deflects off of the pads thereof Paulin once again. Matt Graham's got his man hanging out there at the right side of the blue line, Nippard, but the pass went to left. Brody Duncan recovers it, 10:38, about halfway through now. Duncan picks up speed through the neutral zone, past the blue line, makes his way through, and Paulin makes a save before any rebounds can happen. And then an Icebreaker takes it. Oh, and a late jab there from Nippard to Brody Duncan.
Here's the Icebreakers. You got to defend your teammate there. Duncan's got hauled down in front of the net and no response.
Yeah, and the push was one thing, but you see the little shove to the face afterwards. Icebreakers maybe just don't want to lose any of the focus here. They have 33 shots on goal tied up with the Prowlers, but they trail 2-0. So 10:30 remaining. Face off here, right defensive circle, Menor Ice Arena. Home to the Menor Icebreakers as well as the Menor Cardinals, Lake Catholic Cougars, and NDCL Lions, as well as the North Coast Collision and several skating programs here in Northeast Ohio. Great youth program. Saw the Menor Youth Hockey here tonight. Nice ricocheting pass there from Joe Keenan to Morrow. Now Daniel comes back to get it, crosses center ice. The Belarus native looking for someone. He's got Jackson Tucker there in the slot and Morrow, but just misses him. Quick on the other end. Look at this. Portillo right there again, hanging out near the blue line, trying to get there first. 9:55 remaining. Good crowd on hand of Fanatics, but they are looking for something to get excited about as Menor has not put one in. First time being shut out this season. Portillo to 08. 08 centers it back to Portillo from the circle. Wide left, and that one goes out of play as well.
Looks like Portillo's been a little bit off tonight on his shot. A couple of off-target shots this period.
Dustin Portillo with a 10-4-14 scoring line as we take an official timeout. Now, Menor has actually taken the lead on shots on goal, but if you can't put one in the back of the net, that's nice. It doesn't mean too much at the end. We saw that against Delaware. If you remember, Jared, well over 50 shots on goal. Delaware was in the high 20s.
And part of that difference is because that early power play the Icebreakers had where they rattled off a few shots on goal to take the early lead in that category in this period, but things seem to have evened out a little bit as the period's gone on.
Any score updates as the third period rolls on or around the league?
Not looking good for the Rumblebees as Carolina scored again to pull ahead 4-2, but Delaware on top 4-1 over Watertown. That's pretty surprising considering the Wolves were at the top of the division, Eastern Division that is, for most of the year.
Yeah, the Wolves started off with only one loss. Menor did as well, but Wolves continued after Menor slid. They dropped 2 to Danbury, and now Delaware looking to continue that. And Delaware, I believe, is looking for their third win in a row. Any Ryan Marker goals tonight?
I don't think Marker does have an assist, so right now he tied Conway for the league scoring lead.
And that is at 41, correct?
Yes, 41 points.
9:33 remaining in this one. We'll have a face-off left defensive circle. Delaware Thunder in the Eastern Division, one of the 4 expansion teams. Prowlers been in the league since 2016. Icebreakers debuted last year. Prowlers have retaken the shot on goal advantage, 34-33. And Rodebush will fall on that one before anyone can get a stick in on it. See if the Icebreakers can crack the Prowler wall. Paulin has been pretty solid tonight so far.
And the Prowlers have one of the better defenses in the league. They're only giving up 3.2 goals per night. That average will probably go down barring a late surge from the Icebreakers here.
Also got Brady Beaton here on the Port Huron Prowlers call. Does the Prowlers broadcast. Check out the Danville Dashers YouTube stream on New Year's Eve Tuesday and a rare Tuesday, and we just had a Thursday Boxing Day game, and then on Friday night on YouTube, the Dashers will have the broadcast. Brody Duncan takes a hard board from from Jarrett Pfeiffer. That'll draw a whistle here.
Duncan is going to be the one heading to the box this time.
8:55 remaining. Duncan goes to the box to serve the penalty, and that'll put the Icebreakers back on the penalty kill.
Definitely not the best time to take a penalty there, especially considering the Prowlers' 28% efficiency on the power play.
And trailing 2-0 to boot. So it'll be Matt Graham and Nate Farrington, the captain, taking the draw. Robertson feeds it over to Stoya, left side, centers it back to Robertson. And elbowing is the call against Duncan. Stoya winds up center, and in traffic, Rodebush's view was obstructed, but makes a save. And Austin Rodebush has had a good performance tonight. I mean, he's keeping it below his goals allowed per game, at least at this point. He's given up 3.02. He's given up 2 so far tonight, a .912 save percentage. And he has saved 33 of the 35 saves, so that's above that 90% marker. But he hasn't gotten the help with the goals going in at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really ask much more out of Rodebush tonight, but guys in front of him just haven't gotten it done.
Now, surveying their options, looking for the best look, but Menor cuts off that pass. Morrow, he's got a fast break to Farrington. Farrington's got it, circle, bounces, rebound, no! And Paulin slid out, and he gets some help from Portillo there, and Paulin makes another good save. He opted for the deflection there and does a good job in getting it. Minute 8 left here in the penalty kill, and now the wind-up save in the breadbasket made by Austin Rodebush from the stick of Stoya, but at the other end, Jared, there wasn't time for a glove save, but Paulin put his body out there and makes the hard deflection as a nice feed left to right found Farrington sliding across the circles, left alone.
Yeah, that was a great defensive play really by the Prowlers. After you give up that fast break, you got back perfectly and forced a tough shot. Looked like Farrington just trying to get a rebound out to his teammate Alex Morrow, who just was cut off and couldn't get to it in time.
59 seconds left in the penalty kill. Icebreakers trying to avoid this one, and maybe even get a shorthanded goal. They started the year with a slew of shorthanded goals.
Part of
Thanks
that
again
is
for listening.
Because of John Butita, who had 3 of those early in the year.
Yeah, former Kent State Golden Flash, and as of right now, former Menor Icebreaker, as he is with the Quad City Storm. 7:30 remaining, 36 seconds left in the penalty kill, and it's been a fast-moving game thus far, and Prowlers with the 2-0 lead, and it's still that 2-shot-on-goal differential, and those 2 have been put in the net. 7:14 now, and Federley stick handles his way through, challenged by Diaz. He'll wind it back out, and another save made by Rodebush. So Rodebush now at 35 saves. He's actually had one of his better home performances here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, overall, he's got really great numbers on the year, but they are a little bit worse at home than they are on the road. But you wouldn't be able to tell here tonight. He's got hovering around a .950 save percentage, stopped 35 of the 37 shots he's seen so far.
Rodebush 10-7 on the year, has 519 saves, .912 save percentage, and he came into the game having played 994 minutes. He has now, in this game, eclipsed 1,000 minutes played on the season already. Paulin will come way out of his net to beat a racing in Jackson Tucker. Tucker, the Matthews, North Carolina native. Almost had a chance to catch him out of position. Icebreakers back to full strength now. 6:40 left. And stuck behind Rodebush. He's looking all around as there's a multitude of players trying to free that puck. Now behind the net. Wind up off the backboards. Oade comes back up, goes off of the stick of Morrow. Feed back to Morrow. Icebreakers on the change. Morrow stick handles through, does it himself. He went behind the back of Strack, but Paulin will make the save. And a whistle on the ice, a late fall there, and the birthday boy gets knocked down. Do you think that was an exchange of a birthday present or no?
I don't think so, not this time. But again, just your guy gets knocked down after the whistle. You don't do anything. You got to have some kind of retaliation. I get not wanting to take a penalty here, but you got to stick up for your guys sometimes.
6:13 now remaining in the third period of play. 2-0 Port Huron. It'll be Nate Farrington and Matt Graham on the draw. Now, battling for control of the puck. Dumps down towards the other end, and that'll draw the icing call against the Prowlers. Tomorrow's Star Wars night as the Prowlers come back to town, and the Christmas jerseys last night on the ice. They'll be auctioned off on the Live Source app afterwards. All that will be posted on the Icebreakers website and social media. Oh, and a little beginning of a scrap there from Nippert and Brody Duncan. I believe those two were the two involved in the little scrap in front of the net earlier, and they're jawing at each other again. Little bad blood there between Nippert and Duncan, both going to the box. Duncan just got out of the box. Not sure what happened on that one. I know earlier it was in the slot, and I don't know if it was Nippert that pushed Duncan down, but he had the little shove afterwards, and they're still going at it. Nippert in the box has taken off his helmet and is screaming at Duncan. Duncan screaming right back at him. They'll both serve some time.
You got to feel for the official scorers here. Get some colorful language right in their ear.
Probably pretty loud, too. So it's going to be Matt Graham and Nate Farrington once again on the draw.
Got a Prowler down to Austin Federley. That's going to draw another penalty call.
Yeah, not sure what happened. Austin Federley hopefully okay there, but he is slow to get up, holding his head there.
Wondering if he took a stick up high.
And the Lake Health Athletic trainers will take care of him there, and hopefully Federley's okay as he's slow to get up. Never want to see anyone ever get injured. So 2-0 Port Huron with 5:54 remaining here in the third period of play.
Federley's still down.
Yeah, hopefully all right there. And he's getting up now. Hopefully Again, okay. So Prowlers up 2-0. Minute 53 in the penalty against both Brody Duncan and Nippard. And I know someone was asking, the Rick O'Drea reference was the fact that Rick O'Drea earned one win for the Icebreakers in what was a much more offensive game last year against the Prowlers, 11-7. O'Drea picked up his one win in his short stint with the Icebreakers, and it was right after the Super Bowl. We were remarking about how there was more points scored in that game than in the Super Bowl between the Patriots and Rams. That one was wild. I believe it was a Sunday afternoon, was it not, Jared?
Honestly, I cannot remember, but looking back at that S3 penalty that's coming up here, it looked like right after the faceoff, he was trying to get around Federley and actually passed him up, but had his stick up high and caught Federley right in the back of the head. So it looked like an inadvertent play there, but yeah, you have to call that if you're the official.
Oh yeah, you got to call it if it happens intentionally or not. Wow, so he will receive a game misconduct and a 5-minute major for high sticking. So we will not see a Mark Esri for the conclusion of this game, which is a tough blow as Mentor looks to add to that scoring line. You got John Butita now called up to Quad City, which is good and a great accomplishment for a great guy like John Butita. But Declan Conway, after a 4-point night, has been held pointless, as everyone has on Mentor. And after you have Declan Conway, it's a big drop on points from 41 to 17. Next is Brody Duncan. Esri's after that with 16, and the Morrow's been close tonight with 15, Farrington, and 13. And they need all the offensive production they can get, and they just lost one of the key guys in that scoring line. So Esri with that 5-minute major. Minute 40 against Brody Duncan and David Nippard. Wind up and the save made low there. Joe Pace had the first goal of the game. Austin Rodebush continues to roll. Rodebush had a great game last night despite letting 5 go in, but he had some tremendous saves, including one where he jumped in the air and landed in a seated position with the puck firmly in his grasp. Matt Graham and Nate Farrington taking the draw. Now Farrington's a top draw guy. He's taken almost all of the draws tonight. Wind up there from Robertson, and that bounces back out. 5:25 remaining here.
The big issue here for the Icebreakers is all these untimely penalties. You're trying to get back into the game, and you can't do it when you're shorthanded for the last 10 minutes of the game. Kind of saw this last night with the untimely penalties, giving Danbury a chance to get back into the game.
And this is how the first period ended tonight as well. 3 in a row penalty kills for the Icebreakers. They only gave up 1 goal, but when you're down 2-0, even only 1 is too many. Robertson to Shaw. It'll be interesting to see tomorrow if there will be extra physicality or how these teams respond. Mentor's going to want to probably start much quicker than obviously tonight has gone, but first we got 4:51 remaining in this one. Robertson taking his time, drops it back off to Stoya, back to Robertson, wind up deflects off the left glove of Rodebush. Anytime your goalie can get you about 40 saves, you're doing what you can between the pipes. The shark take there for Rodebush, wind up again, deflection. And a lot of these are in heavy traffic areas where Rodebush doesn't have a great look at it, and he's still making the saves.
Yeah, he's seen the puck very well tonight. Unfortunately, he gave up those 2 goals. The first shot from Joe Pace, I don't think he ever saw. But overall, it's one of Austin's better home games, but offense has not gotten it done, and these untimely penalties are really killing the Icebreakers. And when you take a 5-minute major with 5:54 left in the game, you're down 2 goals, that essentially seals the deal.
If the Icebreakers fall tonight, they will pick up their 10th loss of the season and fall to 12-10, whereas Port Huron would pick up their 7th win in a row. Currently the longest streak in the league, as Danbury's 11-game streak came to a close last night at Mentor's hands. They wanted to make it another streak come to a close tonight, but not the case yet. 4:09. We've seen stranger things happen. Mentor could turn it around. 4 minutes even now. Wind up, quick shot, and Dalton Jay sprinted past his man on the back line of the Icebreakers. But another save made by Rodebush, and now all of a sudden, Austin has 41 saves on goal. Tomorrow night we'll have a 6:30 start, about 6:20 pregame, 6:30 puck drop. These two teams will do it again. If Port Huron hangs on to win, they'll head into Star Wars night with the 2-1 season lead and be 9-7 overall, although we've seen Mentor score 2 or more goals in less time. So we'll see if they can get it going here. Not started, finish it with some sort of momentum to carry over into the next night at least. Port Huron kind of slowed things down as well offensively as they're in less of a hurry to score now and more to preserve this 2-0 lead, and that win streak kept intact. The double penalty has expired, and now 2:50 still up against Esri. Robertson feeds it back to Graham, bounces back out. Now back to Stoya. They've maintained possession here in the defensive zone of the Icebreakers for quite some time. Finally, Farrington gets it. Will send that one forward. Danieluk avoids the stick from Nippert, but takes a hard spill to the ice. And that will draw the whistle against Nippert. Danieluk skated away from the stick, but it was outstretched so far that he was not able to take the spill. He took the spill. He couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, that's a very smart penalty there by the Prowlers. If you're going to take one, that's exactly the time to do it with the 2-on-1 break. Danieluk was trying to get it to Conway, and Conway, could tell, was visibly frustrated. With the, didn't see who it was for the Prowlers. I think it might have been Robertson.
Moe's Southwest Grill caters any event, office lunches, house parties, tailgates, weddings, ballet recitals, and yes, thumb wrestling tournaments. Moe's Catering will fill your fajita, taco, and nacho bars with fresh and flavorful ingredients that are sure to please everyone. Just order at moes.com/catering or visit us at our Menor, 2 locations, South Euclid or Mayfield stores. Welcome to Moe's. And again, tomorrow, Star Wars night. There will be clips and music played throughout the night. You can feel free to wear your Star Wars merchandise or dress up if you have that as well.
That was David Nippert who took that penalty, getting the stick in front of Danieluk and preventing him from getting the puck over to Conway.
Yeah, Danieluk was trying to just skate around it, but the stick was outstretched so far that he couldn't avoid it. Danieluk probably would have got a 1-on-0 shot on goal. Now, for Dimitri Danieluk, he was with the team last year, joined about in the month of November. And this year for him, he has 4 assists on the year, an 0-4-4 scoring line. So might have been his chance for his first goal of the season. So face-off here will be Tim Perks taking the draw this time. Goes back to Henry Berger.
With this, both teams having a man in the box, it might give the Icebreakers an opportunity to pull Rodebush for the extra attacker, get that 5-on-4 advantage.
Yeah, we'll see if that is the case. Right now, Rodebush stands back there. Coach Sebastian Reyno getting, goaltending coach getting some clarification from the official. Coming at the other end, big board there from Henry Berger. Sends Brian Parsons leaning over into the Icebreakers bench. Minute 30 in the penalty left against Nippert. Minute 37 against Esri in the major. Berger now surveying his options, being forechecked by the speedster Dalton J. Brody Duncan gets it back out on the ice and feeds it to Tim Perks left side, crosses the blue line, skates between the circles, lost control of the puck, now back at the right side of the blue line. Berger, Duncan chips it off the top of his stick. Still down here in the defensive zone of the Prowlers. Now to Tim Perks. Perks leaves it for Duncan. Duncan's stick handles through traffic. Morrow's there again in the slot. Can't get it off. Paul, wind-up shot, center. Bounces back off. That was from Berger's stick. And Berger has had some of the better shots here in the game for the Icebreakers. Rodebush almost coming out there. Goes back to his net. Minute 48 now remaining in the game. 2-0 Port Huron. Icebreakers trying not to get out, shut out. Port Huron trying to keep that win streak going. And Declan Conway back in this. We haven't seen him for a little bit. Conway, I know he was holding his hand a little bit earlier when he took that puck. Conway does a big board there. Looks like he's feeling okay. Matt Graham crosses center ice. Now, almost snuck that one in and could have went off Portillo's skate, but takes a good bounce from Menor. Stoya now for the right side of the blue line. Caught up with Conway. Farrington trying to free that puck. Minute 13 remaining. 4 seconds in the penalty against Nippert left. And the Prowlers back to full strength. Rodebush still firmly in the net. Minute remaining. And Port Huron 2-0 now with only a minute to go. Nippert now to Graham. That one goes wide right. 52 seconds left. Icebreakers trying to make something happen here, but Port Huron has played pretty overall solid game through 3 periods, 60 minutes of hockey. Morrow has it center. Skates between the circles, gets tumbled to the ice, and now they'll send it all the way back to Berger in his defensive zone. 32 seconds left. penalties have all expired off the board.
Icebreakers finally got Rodebush out of his net for that extra attacker. A little bit overdue, though.
25 seconds left now. 20 seconds left. Stuck in this corner. Morrow gets it to Stuart Dant. Stuart Dant behind the net, boarded up double time. 13 seconds left. Morrow, turn, bounces off the pad. Rebound shot by Duncan. Rebound shot again from Stuart Dant, and Paulin keeps it out of the net once more. Chris Paulin with 37 saves on the night.
Yeah, it's definitely been the Chris Paulin show here tonight with a 37 save shutout going. 5.7 seconds to go. Looks like he's going to pick up his second shutout of the year, barring some kind of miracle goal from the Icebreakers.
And the team's getting a bit chippy there behind the net. You think that this will carry over to tomorrow night at all?
These two teams see each other 10 times this year, and I'm sure a lot of these moments carry over into the future matchups that are coming up this season.
And the Menor Port Huron games have traditionally been pretty close and well-played contests. And like we said, usually a bit more higher scoring, as we alluded to the 11-7 game from last year. But now it's 2-0, and men are trying to avoid being shut out. They'll have to get off a quick shot off the draw. Tim Perks will take the draw. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Perks does find Berger, can't get the shot off in time, so Kanich will clear it the length of the ice. And afterwards, it's Henry Berger and Brian Parsons trying to clash sticks, and now everyone getting involved here. Tangle up, the officials doing their best to keep this one intact. But if this is how the game is ending, you know that will be remembered to start the beginning of tomorrow. And definitely a lot of tension, if nothing else, right now. Morrow being sent off, and now after Morrow sent off, Berger and another Prowler in a little bit of a shoving match. An interesting conclusion to this one.
Good job by both teams staying on their bench, waiting for this little melee to clear out.
Yeah, you don't need everyone to get involved here and it escalate any further. You got tomorrow night, you got 60 minutes of hockey tomorrow night, but the final here is the Port Huron Prowlers 2 and the Menor Icebreakers 0. The Icebreakers will fall to 12-10. The Prowlers will continue that 7-game win streak, and it was a Joe Pace Jr. goal with 4:29 remaining from the right side of the blue line. Slap shot knuckled over Rodebush. Took a lot to get a goal in on Rodebush tonight, and that made it 1-0. Then with 11:24 remaining, Nippard and Robertson had the assist to Graham, and that's the only 2 goals of the game. Rodebush pulls down an impressive 43 saves. Chris Paulin with 37. But the Prowlers did everything they needed to do. Quick offense, get a couple of goals, play solid defensively, and really well impressive in the pipes for Paulin.
Yeah, that's how they win a lot of their games. It's on the back of their goaltending, and that was certainly the case tonight with Chris Paulin putting on a show with 37 saves.
So for Menor, it's been an interesting homestand so far. Last night, intense action the entire time, pretty much all hockey action. Not many altercations, little chippiness near the very end. 6-5, they stave off Danbury and break the streak. Tonight, quite the opposite. A little bit more physicality, much more defensive play. Shutout 2-0. I mean, polar opposite. So what do you expect from the Icebreakers tomorrow night? Because we've seen 2 very different teams in the first couple of games of this homestand.
Yeah, last night, the first game without John Butita, looked like the Icebreakers are going to be okay offensively, but who knows now? This is the first time in franchise history they've been shut out at home. If you remember it, last year they only shut out once, and it was on the road.
Well, that's definitely hats off to John Butita. Nice guy in the locker room, and he was a great team player. I know in our last interview with him, he did that little jig. He, when he passed it to Conway, they fed off of each other. They had some good times here, and Butita was a critical member of the scoreline. Even when Conway had more goals scored, John Butita, his unselfishness, his quickness, his transitional play, and his ability to get assists and goals is definitely going to be sorely missed for Menor. Now, very happy for John Butita as he goes up to Quad City and the Storm, but the Icebreakers are now going to have to look again. You had the trade with Parker Moskal to the Columbus River Dragons. We still haven't seen Yuri Pashtuka, and Chad Herron. They will take to the ice soon. Maybe Chad Herron will apply some offense, and Yuri Pashtuka, kind of an offensively minded defensive player. But you're going to look for players to step up, and maybe a Mark Esri can get back to a little bit of last year's form and add some more scoring in as well.
Actually, quick update on Butita. He's actually got an assist. Quad City and Evansville are tied 1-1. It was a Vincent Beaudry goal, the former Watertown Wolf, assisted by Butita. He had the primary assist on that goal to tie it up, so might be a lengthy stay in the SP for Butita.
So that was an all FPHL score there, the assist and the goal. And John Butita, first game, he scores goal. And, hey, doesn't that remind you last year? John Butita didn't come till near the end of last year. As soon as he came, he was scoring, I believe, in the first 4 games that he played here. John Butita, tremendous player, former Kent State Golden Flash, Cleveland, Ohio native. But tonight the final is the Port Huron Prowlers 2 and the Menor Icebreakers 0. Once again, Star Wars night tomorrow night. Come check it out or join us on YouTube.com. We appreciate you from wherever you're listening, Port Huron, Menor, or anywhere in between or beyond. We'll have about a 6:20 start online stream. Join us for YouTube.com. We'll have the national anthem, and then we'll go right into puck drop and to conclude this holiday homestand and get that LiveSource app and get that auction going for the Christmas jerseys. The final once again here from Menor Ice Arena. The Prowlers 2, the Icebreakers 0. And until next time, we'll see you all later.